Hail and well met, and welcome once again to Severed Threads Notes from the Black Ballad. Very happy to have you here. If this is your first time, then welcome. If you've been watching us, then welcome back. I am Medium, also known as Sean, and this is my gallant crew of incredible role players and D&D dice rollers. And we are going to play our session for your amusement and amazement. But first, I must extend my gratitude to the writers of this module, Storyteller's Forge. They have written the Black Ballad, this fantastic module that takes place in the afterlife, a high-level romp going from levels 10 to who knows how high. I would also like to extend my thanks to Diamorte, who are responsible for the music that you're listening to right now. Drake, great stuff. We really appreciate it, and hope you all do as well. And if you are enjoying the art that you are watching on our little slideshow here, that is from Kai. We've said thank you to her many times. If you like what she does, then check her out. We have links to all of the things I've just mentioned in the chat, the Discord for Storytellers Forge, where you could get music from Diamorte and where you could commission Kai for art of your own. I'd also like to say that we have some giveaway contests going on. If you, right now, go into the Storytellers Forge Discord, which, as I said, is a link right in the chat, and mention this stream, that is Storytellers Forge Notes from the Black Ballad, then you will be entered into a raffle to win some nice stuff from Storytellers Forge. Also, if you go to my Discord, Medium Rare, you can see it right there in the chat, then mention this this stream, you will also be entered into a raffle, except I will be providing you with some dice. Who doesn't need more of those? Last but not least, if you enjoy actual plays and you enjoy what we all do here, I hope that you will check out Echoes of Kryn, which is a podcast set in the Dragonlance universe. Samus and I both lend our voices to that. We enjoy producing it very much, and if you are looking for a fun story to listen to, then highly recommend you check that out. Also recommend that you check out Buckle and Rose, which is the Etsy shop that is run by our own Ryan, a leather worker extraordinaire. Don't ask him to do technical stuff, but if you need him to build you a set of amazing gauntlets, then he is your guy. Both Ryan and Tess are in charge of the fantastic Ohio Shakespeare Company. What do you have coming up, Tess?
We have our spooky show on the docket, my favorite stuff every year, and it's called The Woman in Black. If you saw the movie with Daniel Radcliffe, it is the same story, but it's in your face right there, spooky.
Awesome. And again, you'll see links to their stuff in the chat. Also, we have the wonderful Soku, who is working on World of Tanks. Have anything to say about World of Tanks? Anything coming up there that we can look forward to?
It's fun and always new.
Very good. And last but not least, we have Jessie, who is an amazing mother, an amazing D&D player, and can only be found streaming right here. So if you like what she does, you're not going to be able to find it anywhere else.
Exclusive.
Great. So, as I
Separate.
said, I am Medium. We have Soku, wave Soku. We have Samus, wave Samus. We have Jessie. We have Tess. And we have Ryan. And we have Severed Threads. I think it is time, without any further ado, to begin. So, my friends, I extend my hand, inviting you to step with me into fantasy. Release your hold on that which you know to be true, and let imagination rule for the next few hours. Last time, the adventurers, having found themselves dead and in a place called the Sunless Crossing, a strange land full of ashen skies, purple vortexes, and skeletal guardians, they traveled around discovering just what the nature of this place was. What is the nature of the state they currently find themselves in? They have visited a place called a Grove of Atonement, the Atonement Grove, to speak with their true selves, and On their way to the now visible city of Nox Valar on a plateau in the distance, they have stopped at a place called Junction, which is a enormous inn, 6 stories tall. As they arrived, their guide, their shepherd, Johann Marrow, told them that there should be guardians keeping watch, gargoyles that observe and make sure that the Ashen Plains are safe. Not present at the moment, but the group moved into the junction, began to enjoy the hospitality of Quella, the owner and operator of the junction, discovering that they could still drink and eat and enjoy those things, even though apparently they didn't need to. Asked some more questions about the nature of where they were. Spent some time coming to grips with various revelations that they had while speaking to their true selves, when the door burst open and in collapsed a gargoyle who gave them warning of a horde of undead that was on their way. Quella immediately raised a force field, although it would not last. She contacted 2 individuals, letting them know that the junction was under attack, someone she referred to as a sovereign and the arbiter. The sovereign recognized that the people, these adventurers who were with Quella, would be able to help defend the junction and said to open the vault. The group went into the vault and chose powerful magic items and weapons to aid them in the protection of the junction, and then proceeded to deal with this horde of undead, these crimson-bodied wraith and white-like creatures. You could see all of their muscles and viscera exposed. They occasionally expelled gouts of necrotic blood, doing tremendous amounts of damage. It became very clear right away that this was a very difficult fight. There were far too many for the adventurers to handle, and indeed, one of their own, Dusk, collapsed to the ground, felled by these crimson whites. And when she hit the ground, rather than lie there and have a chance to be brought back to life as she would have experienced in the world of the living, she turned to ash along with all of her possessions, except the magic items that she had gotten in the vault. The effect of this was extremely powerful and sobering to the group. However, before they had much time to absorb it, both the Sovereign, Ashlyn, and the Arbiter, Valen the Jade, arrived, laying waste to the remaining enemies. There was a moment for a brief comment about gratitude for the help that had just been rendered, before the air was split with a tearing sound and more disgusting creatures began to emerge from rifts in the very air themselves. Strange bipedal masses of flesh that seemed to have mouths in the center of them, being mostly mouth. They had arms that had arms upon them, tentacles, strange non-symmetrical shapes roiling off of them, and tongues that loll along the ground. And in addition to these creatures, pouring from the rifts were a black miasmic-like goo that moved along the ground like smoke. This threat now in view, there is another call to arms. The group of warriors that have arrived with the Arbiter and the Sovereign, the Nixian Guard, runs out of Junction and begins to set up a perimeter to prevent this horde from reaching Junction. Valen the Jade turns to you all and says, "Remain here unless the need outside is dire. This will be where they attack first. We must maintain the integrity of this structure." And Ashlyn nods and looks to the rest of us. "I will remain here. These souls must be protected." I'll give you both all a brief moment for comment or questions before we roll initiative again.
Holy shit.
Can we...
Dawn is
Good.
literally just where her sister turned to ash and is just like kneeling on the ground there, just speechless right now.
Johann Marrow comes running up to you and grabs your hand and says, come on now, she'll be back. But we need to make sure she has a place to come back to."
I'll come up behind you. And I know you're upset.
Do we have a plan?
She would want you to fight.
Do we have a
Oh, I'm
plan?
going to fight. Kill
Jack,
things.
shut up. Of course
Jack.
we don't have a plan.
Okay, good. So
plan
it's
is
just
to kill
business as
things.
usual then. Yeah.
Kill things.
Right.
Kill everything.
Ashlyn, her red hair still obscured by this glow that is around her, glowing from her eyes, glowing out from her hands. She barely seems to touch the ground as she moves into Junction. As she does, she points at one of these large construct-like Nixian guards and says, "You, come." And this guard comes in to join you all in defending the interior of Junction. And Soku, since Dusk is no longer with us, I would be very happy if you would play this particular creature.
Yay.
Yeah.
I think with no further ado,
That's the DM.
we're going
so
to.
sorry you died.
So
Yeah.
sad.
Well,
Here's my consolation prize.
Yeah.
She is dead. Well, she's got to do something to just sit there. I could cheer you on, I suppose.
Yeah, right.
Go team.
Here in the middle, glowing with power, is Ashlyn the Sovereign.
Nice.
You can see the rest of the group. You see Johan here. You can see Quella here, both standing ready to guard. Don't have them on this map, but assume that in this central area here, gathered close to where the fire is, are all of the other souls that you encountered in here. The group of robed individuals that all seem to be experiencing the afterlife the same as you all, although they are not nearly as well equipped as you all are. Can everybody see?
I can.
Yes.
And then, Sean, are all of these lovely little icons over? These are all the bad guys.
I'm
Indeed.
blind. There we go.
Lovely, lovely.
Yes, the bad guys indeed.
Ew.
These
Oh
things.
God!
Oh, I hate it.
Yeah,
I
I'm
hate
glad you hate it. That's the whole point. Let's
Whoa.
roll initiative.
Get that off my screen.
It's like
How dare you,
demonic
sir?
Barney.
You are gross. No, I don't want to visual search that. Fuck off. All right. Computer's like, you want to see some more gross shit? It's like, absolutely not. Yeah. I bid you
Absolutely, I do.
good day, sir.
Soku, if you alt double click on this large Nixian guard that's
Uh-huh.
in the middle here, you should be able to have access to all of its abilities and all of that.
I found it in the journal.
Oh, that'll work too. Have you rolled initiative, everyone?
I am
Yes.
clicking.
I see. I
it
see
is
the Nixian
giving
guard. I
the
see Dawn. I see Niall. I see Jack.
Spinning wheel
Win.
of death. Spinning wheel of death.
Spinning
One
wheel
moment.
of death.
There we go.
Always a good start. There you are.
Wow,
All right.
14 is a popular number.
It is.
Yes, indeed. Let's find out in dexterity scores. Jack, what's your dex?
Amazing, but
Looking
on
for
an
something a bit more
alternate scale.
specific, but
That's on an alternate scale.
I was gonna say how what else did you expect from me?
It's pronounced Dax.
My dexterity is a 16 plus 3.
16 plus 3. So, Win, what is your dex?
The same.
The
16.
same.
plus
Dawn, what is
Oh,
one.
no.
yours?
I'm
So
lower than both of
amazing.
them. I have 12
All right.
plus 1.
Jack and Win, do you have a preference for who goes first?
Oh, you can't just roll for it?
Jack
You
can
can,
go first because
or you can
his
just
dexterity
decide.
is amazing.
It's
yeah, I think you're right.
amazing.
Yes. Yeah. Based on that comment alone, he goes first.
Thank
So,
you. Old
very good.
Old white fey confidence coming to the head.
Does that? The bad guys once again are at the very bottom of the order. So at the top of the order, we have Soku playing the Nixian guards.
Actually, no, it's
Niall.
me.
Niall.
Niles before. I apologize. Yes. Go ahead.
With a crit on my initiative, which does not bode well for the rest of my rolls if history is to be any
They're
indicator.
about to be
I believe in
in
you.
denial. Let's do this.
Okay, I see 4 of those monstrosities at this choke point in the door.
Indeed,
So I'm
they are
going to
coming in
run-
through the door. They're coming in. They seem to be ripping holes in reality and appearing in the junction itself.
All right. Well, in an effort to deter them from running into the center, I am going to move down directly in front of them, and I'm going to say, let's play a guessing game, shall we? And I'm going to cast Mirror Image.
All right, mirror image.
So my body is going to briefly become incorporeal. I'm going to turn into a puff of black smoke, and when they remanifest, there are going to be 4 of me standing in the doorway, preventing their exit, or at least that's my intent.
Very cool. So, as you are looking at these creatures, you can hear and see more of these voids ripping. Like, it sounds like canvas, something massive just ripping in the fabric of this place. And then it echoes all over the place, very violent rip. And then these cracks of utter darkness appearing. There is nothing beyond these cracks. You just see void. It is black, and it's nothing to be seen beyond it except these creatures that are pouring out of it, and then also this miasma that is flowing out as well and moving across the floor here. It seems to be moving towards you as well.
Great. Awesome.
So you have rolled your mirror image. So you have mirror image up. That is not a concentration spell, but it does require an action to cast.
It does indeed.
So your mirror image. Anything else? Any bonus action from you?
I don't think I can do anything effective. I don't want to hide. I want to distract them from coming in and attacking the innocent souls on the inside. So I'm going to meat shield in anticipation of their destruction.
That's going to bring us to the Nixian Guard, played by Soku. Soku, you are a large construct-like creature.
Nice.
Made mostly of armor, wielding a tremendous bow and also a large spear. And you have a great helm on your head, which just slits for eyes, and an enormous set of antlers that comes out. Difficult to see if you are actually a creature or a construct for the rest of this group.
Okay. So I am going to I'm going to multi-attack, forego 2 to do take aim,
All right.
Okay.
and then going to use the great bow to hit the bottom left one.
Very good. Bottom left down here. Very good. So this bow is enormous, almost as tall as this creature that is defending you all. So it's got an 8-foot tall bow. It creates a massive, sounds like a tree bending in a storm. As it draws back slowly, takes careful aim, and releases a thunderous shot. It's the size of a small sapling that goes shooting across the small space towards this Void Ravager. Roll your attack.
I rolled a 14.
A 14 unfortunately does not hit, as this
Damn it.
bolt goes through, splits the wall of the junction completely, and passes out somewhere into the battle beyond.
So we're trying to save the junction, right? That was the plan.
You beat me to it. Yeah.
Such a shit.
I can't be
so,
reasoned with. I'm a construct.
Well,
So,
I thought
right,
it'd be a
so
little more
you-
constructive, but all right.
You used take aim, which did take away 2 of your attacks. You have just the one. You've made it. Any movement for you?
I'm going to stay where I am.
Very good. That's gonna bring
The
us
quick
to...
question.
Oh,
For the next round, since take aim is still in effect, does that mean I get to make 3 attacks with take aim active?
let's double check here.
Ooh.
You use take aim until the end of your next turn. When the guard makes a ranged weapon attack, it rolls an additional C. Guard takes skill to the end of its next turn, which would be the turn you just did. So yeah, you would have to redo it. You have to roll to see whether or not you get the ability to do it back at the beginning of the next turn. Sorry.
Okay.
No problem. That's going to bring us to the Despairing Muck that begins to roil into this room along with you all. I'm going to roll 2d6.
That's the name of it?
Yeah.
The Despairing Muck.
The Despairing Muck.
We've all been there.
It's my nickname in high school.
So I have a 6 and I have a 4. So 4 is going to be Nile, as some of this Despairing Muck comes towards you, Nile. It arrives at your space and begins to crawl up your leg. As it does, I'm going to need you to make a dexterity saving throw, I believe. Let me
Well,
double
first,
check.
which one of me?
Ooh.
A good point.
Love it.
Interesting.
Love it.
Love this.
It's not
love
actually an attack roll.
this. Oh.
So it is a wisdom saving throw. So it is a wisdom saving throw, and it seems to be acting like an area of effect based on what I'm looking at here. So that is that's going to not be subjected to your.
So it will be just me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's all three of your things. It begins to crawl up your leg, rolling up over your body. Roll a wisdom saving throw for me.
I hate that so much.
Ooh.
But I got an 18.
All right.
With a +0 on that.
Nice.
Very nice. That is a success. It is you for a brief moment you feel a sensation of hopelessness roll over you. You can't possibly, when you look out and see how many of these creatures are out there, you can't possibly succeed. But you shake your head, and all three of your mirror images shake their head. Do they all look exactly like you, or have you zhuzhed up your appearance at all?
Oh no, they are completely identical. I'm going for maximum confusion.
Love it.
All right, very good. So that is a success. The other one lands next to, let's see, we're going to go with up here. We're going to have a Void Ravager, since I rolled a 6. That's going to come to there. That is going to be the Despairing Muck, and that is now going to bring us to Jack.
Man, Despairing Muck sounds like so many coworkers that I've had in my life. All right. Jack is immediately going to take flight, go up into the air. He's going to briefly kind of perch on this chandelier atop there. What's the height of the ceiling there, DM? Can I get there is my question.
Yes, you can get there.
So I'm going to get myself up in the chandelier, and then he's going to look down at Dawn and say, "You want to avenge your sister? Then kill some shit." And you see him form his hand, which then erupts into an ebony owl's claw. As he throws it down at Dawn, it collapses around her. It enlarges and then just engulfs her. You hear this disgusting squishing sound of her bones and blood being burst. Just and then emerging from this claw, you see one giant lizard leg, another giant lizard leg, as his polymorph begins to take effect. And what emerges out of this claw is supposed to be a giant T-Rex, but I have a feeling fuckery will be had because magic. So
why? Because some strange things happened to the horses?
Last time I
summoned?
summoned
Skeletal
horses,
horses?
they were skeletons.
And my dog had 3 heads.
And the
so-
dog had 3 heads. So there's
I
Dawn-
like the 3-headed dog, though.
Don,
We're here for
describe to me how you're feeling having seen dusk crumble to dust.
All Dawn wants to do is protect her sister while she's on this. And this is the second time in a day that her sister has died in front of her. And so she is feeling so much pain and anger towards all of these things. And she just wants to destroy things. She's just feeling like when you're so mad you want to break something. That's what Dawn is. And she's got a lot of bad guys she wants to break.
All right, so this spell takes effect, and you feel your body growing, but within you feel this intense regret that you weren't able to protect her. Twice. It is weighing deeply on you, and you know how terrible and how destructive that sort of regret can be. So rather than hold on to it, you begin to channel it into what is happening. You begin to feel this change coming over you, and you imbue it with all this regret, giving all of it to this magic. And as you do, a reptilian claw does indeed come out.
Hey.
And then another, but it is dark and shadowy. And as this conglomeration of flesh rips open, rising up from it is not a T-Rex, but a shadowy dragon, as the wings stretch out and create a shadow over the entire interior of this inn. As a huge dragon, a T-Rex is a huge creature, correct?
I believe so, yes.
All right. It should be if it is not.
I mean,
Jurassic Park
and-
makes it clear it is.
Yes.
yeah.
And
Jeez.
the shadow dragon appears, and as it moves, it looks like smoke. You could see light through it, but you get the stats there. We'll go ahead and call this a young. Yeah, we'll call this a young shadow dragon. So
dope.
you are now a shadow dragon, Dawn.
Okay.
And Jack, you are concentrating on that
I
polymorph.
am become death.
Jack, what in the nine hells?
Oh, I'm
So
not done
I
yet.
am become death.
What she said.
Lets out a roar. She opens her mouth and lets out a roar, and nobody hears the thing, but you could feel the interior of your body rumbling as if the sound that it is making is actually too low to be heard by your actual ears, but you feel it in the interior in your organs.
The brown note.
I'm telling you.
The brown note, yes.
I'm telling you. I've become too powerful to be left alive. And then Jack is then going to go ahead and hang on a second. I didn't mean that, DM. And then he's going to go ahead and lock eyes with Win and saying, "You're not getting out of this either." And then he pulls out his bandolore and plays just a juicy bass note, like doom 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 doom. And then he goes, "Awaken, awaken, claim the lives that must be taken." And then he gives you inspiration.
Inspiration?
And that inspiration goes to who?
Win.
Oh, Bardic
win.
Inspiration.
Part
Got
of
it.
inspiration. Of course. What inspiration is there?
I thought you were giving
else
me
does he do?
inspiration. I was like, I didn't
Like,
know you
oh.
could do that.
I mean, hey, if you want to say inspiring,
You get
I understand.
You get the black heart. All right. That's Jack's turn, unless Jack has any movement.
I have already moved my full height up to the chandelier.
Yes, indeed. Brings us to Win.
She turns to Jack and says, "I didn't fucking know you could turn us into dragons." And recognizes how important it is to keep this dragon on our side. So she's going to cast Shield of Faith on Jack to
Very
help
good.
with his concentration.
Ooh, I like that.
So add +2 to your AC.
Oh, stuffy.
Indeed.
And then for her movement, she's going to activate her winged boots and
Okay.
fly up in the air, let's say 20 feet.
Double checking that activating your winged boots is a free action.
It didn't say either way, so I was hoping that
If it doesn't say, then I will.
Lazily sneaky.
If it doesn't say,
while
then I
you
will
wear
say
these
that.
boots, you have a flying speed equal to your walking speed. You can use. The
Oh yeah,
boots
so
to
they're just
fly.
always active. There you go.
Cool.
You're good.
Okay,
You
so
just choose to walk as opposed to fly.
yeah, so
Well,
I'm
now
just
that-
gonna go straight up. Let's say 20 feet.
Okay, up 20 feet.
Look at you.
That's pretty badass. Both Jack and Win flying above the battlefield. Very good. Right. That is.
That's me.
I think you still have an action, do you not? Shield of Faith is a bonus action to cast. isn't it?
way.
Yeah, it's a bonus action.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna do so much more.
Just
Um,
get up.
1 second.
Crush some shit.
First. Okay, there's Shield of Faith. Can I cast Moonbeam right bugging here and get both of them?
Absolutely. There's a problem with that, however. It rhymes with perspiration.
Concentration?
Yes.
Oh,
Dehydration.
is a Shield of Faith our concentration
Yes.
spell? Okay.
Use the moonbeam.
But that would
Hit
be
something
such
with
a
a stick.
waste of concentration.
It's
to
a
give...
bonus action. You fine.
No, I'm gonna lose the spell I just cast on you.
Which is more important?
Not
Killing
losing my
shit?
whole action. I
don't know.
other
You
things
have
I
a
can do.
you have a
Somebody do
+3.
something.
You have
Um,
a stick. Hit something.
yeah, I'm going to. I'm sorry, Sean. Am I allowed to save that movement? I did not know I had more.
Of
action.
course, you may save the movement.
Great. So I'm gonna use my Sunblade and go over and hit this piece of shit.
Sunblade. All right.
Sunblade.
So
Yep.
Wynn activates her Sunblade, and that instead of sort of apparating into air, almost looks like it's like if it were, instead of diffusing, it's infusing itself into being and almost like a icy crackle. But this is the first time she's done it down here, so I'm not sure how it looks.
Ooh.
It doesn't look so much like the sun. It actually brings with it almost the similar purple lightning-like quality that you see out in the void.
Nice. I was hoping for like a Mandalorian dark blade effect, where it was just like.
I think that's kind of what he's
Dark
saying.
saber.
Yeah.
Maybe a little more purpley.
Yeah. Purpley.
So, just for shits and giggles, I'm gonna fly over there
Okay.
because I can, and we're gonna hit with the Sunblade. That
Go for
is now purple lightning.
Yeah.
16 to hit.
16 is a hit.
Yes.
Nice.
Come on.
Wanna see you fuck shit up with purple lightning. Purple lightning.
It's not undead, is it? Or is it?
Does not appear to be reacting to the Sunblade as an undead would.
Boo.
All right, so 15 damage, and then I'm
15
just gonna
damage.
do it again.
Yeah, you are.
10
Oh.
to hit.
That's actually a natural 1.
Yeah.
So it
You do
the
have an inspiration.
No, natural
Natural
one always
one,
Oh,
not
misses.
natural
natural
one. Sorry.
the first blow cut through the part of the creature, and it lurches to the side in a way you weren't expect. So the return swing misses it completely. That is your bonus action, your move, and your action. Your turn is done.
Thank you.
Dawn the Shadow Dragon.
I
Oh yeah.
Can we henceforth call it Dawnbreaker? Is that? Just throwing out names. Throwing out names.
Fuck shit up. Go.
I'm fucking pissed, and I am gonna, from where I'm standing right here, I got a perfect 30-foot cone
Oh,
shadow
no!
grab
Yeah.
on this little group of fuckers over in the top corner, and
Oh my
I'm going
goodness.
to just take another inhale and just release a shadowy breath out at all of these guys. And I have to
Again,
finish.
there is this rumble. You feel the sound. You don't hear it as a lack of light and energy roils over these creatures. What am I rolling on their behalf?
Dex saving throw 18.
All
Oh
right.
my god.
1, 2,
This is
3.
so much cooler than a T-Rex.
And it's a
All right.
16d6 damage.
So I have actually managed to succeed on 2 of those saving throws, but the other one failed hard.
Okay,
So it's how much damage?
48.
48 points of damage. One of these creatures completely enveloped. It's necrotic damage, correct?
It is, on a fail to take,
I'm assuming it's necrotic damage.
I would
Can't imagine.
The dragon exhales shadowy fire.
Yeah, it is necrotic.
Yeah, necrotic
Yeah.
damage, yeah. And if they die, if one of them dies, they actually come back as a corpse that I can, that
We'll
is
see
on the
about that.
outside, Apparently.
We'll see about that.
In
The,
honor of your sister. That is amazing.
She would love that.
The-
She would love
the-
that.
The shadowy breath roils around these creatures. 2 of them manage to escape from it. The third one is enveloped in it and lets out a screaming gurgle. It comes back, and as it stands back up, you see almost all of its tentacles are withered and desiccated. You can see right through it. The mouth is barely able to open. It sort of shivers. Looks like it is barely able to stand.
Okay,
That is your action, Dawn the Shadow Dragon.
that is my action. I'm going to, I think, move towards them
All right.
a little bit.
Love
uh,
this.
Just to kind of put myself between them
So
and
about like that.
yeah, and
Alrighty.
everybody else kind of thing, just to like get a little more blocking.
All right. That is going to bring us to Ash Lynn on her turn. She once again gathers up this energy that is around her and shoots it out. While it goes out, you get a clear view of her. Red hair, wearing a dark robe, has a
She must be a
staff
Weasley.
along her back. The light shoots out, and she reaches out to one of these rifts, and with a concentration of will, the light overwhelms the black shadow and seals the rift up as she squeezes her hand. That is going to bring us to the Void Ravagers. Because one of these Void Ravagers was where some of this despairing muck came up, it actually is going to use its turn, and it is going to... I do believe it has to sacrifice something for this. Yes. So the one that is extremely hurt is going to sacrifice half of its hit points. And half of one is still just one as it reaches down and picks up some of this muck and throws it at the Shadow Dragon. Shadow Dragon, as this muck lands on you, I have to make a attack roll. Let's see, just a second here.
Dex save.
Is it dim light in here, or is it?
It's
Never mind.
It's bright light. The muck sails past you with one hit point. This creature barely had enough strength to...
I'm sorry. With that, no, like from the visual for me is that he picks it up and just throws it right at his feet.
Exactly what happened.
Turn from whence you came.
The roll was a 2 on the die, a +5 for the attack. Not even close.
Literally me throwing anything.
So,
Yeah.
here around Wynn, the Void Ravagers come. These three come to surround her. This third one actually begins. It opens its mouth and begins to chew. It doesn't seem to be chewing anything. And then, bizarrely, you watch as it seems like the very reality that you're looking at, the space between you and the wall, the space itself is beginning to be consumed, almost as if this creature is sucking in part of whatever this room is in a bizarre way.
God, I hate that.
Ashlyn looks at that and her eyes widen in alarm as she realizes that these creatures are feeding on absolutely everything, including the nature of the Sunless Crossing itself. So first of all, I'm going to have 3 bites on Wynn.
Remember, you got to do
I have
10
a-
inspiration.
14, I've got a 10, and I've got a 19. I think all of those miss, as your shield knocks away the blows of each of them. The 3 that have just been blasted by the Shadow Dragon come forward. The one that is hurt the most stays back and actually sends forth a tentacle at you from its tongue. And it is going to lash out with a 19 to try and hit the Shadow Dragon.
That will hit the Shadow Dragon.
Will it? All right. It's going to be 12 points of piercing damage and 2 points of acid damage. The other 2 are going to bite. A 14 is going to miss, but a 24, I think, is going to hit. On a hit, half of your HP maximum is taken away. Your total HP maximum drops by half. This creature chomps into
one
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I hate
it here.
everything
So
in the...
I think you should be somewhere around 175 hit points. Sounds about right?
Yeah, 178. So I go down to
178,
89.
so 89 with 1 bite.
Okay.
Then
so
there
I go
are
down from. So my 178 gets dropped by 14 for the first hit, and it goes down to 164, and then my 178, and then I get brought down to 89. Do I then also take does the 14 come off of that?
So your maximum HP, whatever your maximum HP would be, half of that is the damage you take from this bite.
Okay.
Makes sense?
Oh
So
my God.
don't include the 14 in that calculation.
Okay.
So on Nile here, we have.
I'm terrified now.
Yeah, no shit.
So first of all,
I am not a Shadow
Entropic
Dragon.
Bite. That's going to be a 10. Let's see. Remind me of how I think it missed regardless, but so it doesn't
Yes,
matter.
on
if
a 10 it misses. So the first of all, in order to, if we have to determine if it hits me or one of the
Right. So we'll wait and see if I hit first. If I don't hit
Okay.
anything, we won't worry about it.
Okay.
So that's 1 attack. 2. The other one attacks you as well. Both of them have missed.
Okay.
The one that is here also begins to eat the reality of where you are.
Hate it.
And then
Gross.
this last one here is going to lash out with a tongue.
Is this the scary attack?
Gross.
Well, they're all scary attacks.
No,
Bites.
but
The bite seems
You know
to be
exact-
what was scary before. How's a
Okay.
15?
That is meat to beat.
Meat to beat. So 7 points of piercing and 6 points of acid damage as this tentacle
So
wraps
I-
around you, and there's a. However, let us roll to see if it hits one of you or one of your buddies. So
Yes,
go ahead and roll a
I
d20 for me.
D20.
Yep.
Okay, that's 10. So it is one of my. It's above
All
a
right.
6, so it's one of my images.
One of your images goes away, leaving you with 2. That is going to bring us to the end of this round, at which point we'll describe what Quella and Johan are doing. Quella creates another force field, except much smaller, much more quickly created, that she moves into the middle of the room, right in front of the hearth where the other souls are gathered. They are terrified of everything they see. The shadow dragon that has not registered with most of them that it is on their side, and so they are gazing at it with absolute horror.
That's fair.
But
That's
the
fair.
other creatures in here are also quite scary. She creates a force field around all of them with herself in the middle, but then holds it with one hand and begins to prepare another spell in the other hand. Johan is taking his staff and whizzing it back and forth, doing complicated martial arts moves as he steps forward and is essentially just trying to keep these Void Ravagers occupied so they do not continue to chew on reality. That is what they're doing. That's going to bring us to the top of the order with Niall.
Oh God. Okay. They are not engaged with anybody else, and I am not hidden right now, so this isn't going to be nearly as effective. But I am going to.
I remember hearing somebody say something about coming out and tanking, being a meat shield.
Yes. So the rogue meat shield, very effective.
Yeah.
But innocent lives. All right. I am going to swing my Nixian blade short sword at the one that is. Actually, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to cast Booming Blade with my Nixian.
All right.
Short sword.
You definitely can do that.
And so, did it go? Let's try that again.
Well,
That is a
I had a
crit.
natural 20 has just showed up, so that went.
So here's a question.
What's your question?
Hypothetically, if I have mirror image up, are they technically engaged with more than one person?
That's an interesting question. I'm going to say no.
You pronounced yes wrong. Oh, that's so sad. That's so sad. Okay, that sneak attack damage would have been
epic.
absolutely glorious, but no, it's.
But you did say you did cast Booming Blade, so
I
you'll
did
get to
cast
double
Booming
that.
Blade. All right,
so
so 10 points for the.
Correct.
Oh, my heart, Sean. And
However,
another.
as your weapon strikes this creature, it glows and lets out a. These creatures appear to be aberrations. As such, they will take the damage extra from the Nixian blade,
Hooray!
which you also
Oh.
get to double.
Nice.
Okay, so
hell
that's
yes.
a total of 27 damage, I think.
Let's see. I see 10 from the actual hit.
Did
the
you say that's
D8
doubled?
The D8 is double. So no 10. You got the actual hit 10. You have to see a 3 and a 4 from the Booming Blade, and then I need
Okay.
another. It's D8 on the Nixian blade, correct?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The extra force damage. So another 2d8 from that. So there's 1, and there's 2. So there's 9,
Okay.
12, 16,
26.
plus 10, 26 points of damage from that hit. Can you ping the one that you're hitting?
Damn.
I'm gonna do the one directly in front of me.
Mhm.
Very good. 26 points
And-
of damage.
I am going to bonus action. Oh, I don't want to draw the attacks. No, I'm just gonna stay put.
All right. That
and
is
wait for
Niall's
them to come
turn.
forward.
That's going to bring us to Nixian Guard. You got it. That's all good. Nixian Guard.
Okay.
I apologize. I'm having some major eye problems here, so excuse me while I rub them.
Oh no.
Is the recharge roll for take aim, is that a free action?
Yeah, you just roll a d6. If you don't roll a 5 or a 6, then you get it back.
Boo. Okay.
All right, so take aim is not available to you this round.
I am going to take aim at. Well, not take aim. I'm sorry. The skill is called take aim. I am going to point my
uncapitalized
bow.
take aim. I
Yes,
got you, yeah.
lowercase take aim at the bottom left one again.
No
Okay,
copyright.
got it.
I like it. I like it.
Okay, so that's plus 9. Another 14. Okay.
14 just misses. I'm sorry, Nixian Guard. That's one attack. You have 2 more.
Okay.
Hey,
nat 20.
There you go.
And natural 20 will hit.
Hell yeah.
So it is going to be the great bow.
The great bow, so that's going to be, wow, 68 plus 5, please.
68 plus 5.
Jeez.
Sorry, 6d8.
Well, it would be 3d8, but it is
But
a
it's a crit.
natural 20.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
68 plus
Plus
5. Oh my god.
Look at all those
Oh.
ones.
Oh, that's so sad.
They're all in the lower half.
That's disappointing.
Well,
However,
okay, now,
still a
plus
significant hit. The bolt flies forward, catches the Void Ravager on not the center mass, and its mouth opens and it crunches down on the bolt and seems to consume it into its mouth, along with a little bit of the reality around it. One more attack.
Okay.
Another crit, come on.
20 plus 9. 17.
17 is going to hit.
Yay!
Yeah.
Great bow.
So, 16 points of piercing as it strikes once again. It's very hard to see where a vulnerable spot on these creatures would be. It strikes, a tentacle wraps around it, crushes it, and then consumes it as well. A blackish, very similar to the despairing muck, actually, fluid begins to roll out of it and joins the mass that is at the feet of Niall.
Gross.
Hit it.
Yes. Anything else, Nixian Guard?
That is it. I am going to keep walloping at that one until it's gone.
All right, I'm going to roll a d6. It's going to be a 3. That is... Who's 3? Dawn, are you 3? You are 3. Yes. The despairing muck seems to vanish from the current area where it is and reappears directly under the shadow dragon that is Dawn. And another d6. 4. 4 is Niall again. It stays where it is. Sorry, Niall.
Rude.
So once again, it begins to crawl up all of the legs of your mirror images. Wisdom saving
Wisdom
throw,
save.
please.
I have to
Yes.
make a wisdom save too?
Yes,
Oh
you
my
do.
god. Sean, you've played many games with me.
I have.
You are
I'm here.
This
I'm here to
is-
testify.
This is unprecedented. This is my 3rd crit
I will-
since we've started
No.
playing.
Samus, I played a
Okay.
game the other day where I could not roll above a 5. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
Question: do I still have? Still had the symbol for my bardic inspiration. Do I still have
Yeah,
that?
you still
then?
have it as
It's
a
a-
yeah,
it's a
absolutely as a
D10,
shadow
right?
dragon.
yep.
Or at 14?
14.
I can put that on a saving throw, right?
Yeah,
Then yeah, 14. total.
absolutely. 14 unfortunately does not succeed. However, the saving throw that Niall made does. Again, you feel this despair roll over you, Niall, but you're able to throw it off. However, Dawn the Shadow Dragon, as this miasmic-like goop moves, it has a liquidy and a slime-like quality to it. It moves like smoke along the floor. As it comes to you, it begins to rise up all of the legs of the Shadow Dragon, finding its way up the torso and gloms onto you, weighing you down. And within your Shadow Dragon mind, that bit of you that is Dawn begins to just give way to this overwhelming sensation of hopelessness. You will fail here. You will never see Dusk again, because for all you know, her soul has been utterly destroyed. She will never appear in any afterlife ever, and that will be your fate as well. As this happens, you just sink to the ground, and you're not going to be able to do anything at all until you succeed a saving throw, which you could do at the end of your next turn. That is
The most badass person we have right now.
This is the end of the Despairing Muck's turn. That's going to bring us to Jack.
I hate that so much. All right. Jack is going to go ahead and take his action and kind of see his friends fighting a fucking 3-4 front fight. And he's like, okay, time to loosen things up a little bit. And you'll see his hands suddenly convert into owl feathers as he does this. And he says, die, snivel. And he'll go ahead and like throw the feathers down into the pile of fucking just gross things that are in front of Niall. So
Okay.
Basically what I'm doing, DM, is casting Synaptic Static
Of course.
on that pile of 4 there. So as these owl feathers penetrate these abominations, are aberrations. The purple lightning connects between all of them, and it just electrocutes the shit out of them. So I will need them to make a intelligence saving throw. Be so kind. DC 17.
All right. I have 4 failures.
Huzzah!
Nice.
As they do indeed writhe
That's
this
gonna be 27.
psychic electricity rolling over them as they shake their tentacles and bizarre, misshapen and asymmetrical limbs. 27, you say?
27.
The one that was struck by the Nixian short sword collapses in on itself, almost as if the mouth is some sort of void, as it and then disappears, leaving no trace.
Bye.
Thank
and then,
you.
Of course, so for the next minute, since they all failed it, they all have a
Yes.
D6 that they subtract from any one of their attack rolls and ability checks, as well as the Constitution saving throws and all that.
Correct, and they get to do another saving throw at the end of each of their turns.
At the end of its turn, yes, and ending the effect.
All right.
So that is now in play, and then again, using my bonus action, when you still got one, I'm gonna go. But Dawn, you just burned an inspiration, yeah? Great. So since you are my dragon friend in trouble, I'm gonna go ahead and again and say, "Rise up on wings of shadow and burn the earth," and like hit that bassy note on my bandolier.
Yes.
As it goes ahead and gives you another point of inspiration. So you got a D10.
Yes. You get a black heart as well. Very cool. That's gonna bring us to Win.
I've been sitting here trying to think about the most badass thing that I can do, and what it is just to beat
Is
ass.
kill shit.
And so I'm gonna take my
Hard to argue with that.
and hit the same one that I hit before, 24 to hit.
Yes, 24 is a hit.
And so I would imagine. And actually, are these fiends? Sean?
No. Aberrations, I believe.
They do not resemble any fiend you have ever seen. The creatures that you fought before were clearly undead. These, if you had to guess, I'd say at level 10 you've encountered enough aberrations to know that these are aberrations. As such, your Nixian longsword would probably lend a little extra damage, but then the Sunblade is pretty cool too.
Yeah.
I did
So,
think of that after I drew it, and I was like, you know what? I'm not putting it down. So that would be
Hard to
6
put down the lightsaber.
damage. And then I'm just
Sorry. Hard to the plasma sword. Sorry, Disney.
Oh god! Oh god!
oh god, they can hear us.
And just like that, the entire Sunless Crossing was destroyed.
It's just like everything
Comes
fades
down
to
around
black.
us.
No!
All right, so 6 damage for the first hit, 21 to hit for the second hit, with another 7 damage. These
are doing two-handed. Oh, that's
I know.
a shame.
It's such a shame. I rolled so much higher for my one hand, but I was
One-handed, but
two-handed.
two-handed. Yes, I gotcha. So a total of 15 points of damage.
Smite.
I can't. I don't have it left.
You're
Damn,
out.
no more smites. Yeah, all of them
Oh.
spent
we
at
were
the.
we were doing a lot
I've
at
been
the last fight.
smoting quite a bit.
Yeah, I have been smitten.
All right, that's Wynn's action. Anything else for you, Wynn?
Is this still up, I guess?
It's still up, yes.
Oh,
It looks,
that's all I
it
can
looks
do.
wounded. Alrighty, that's gonna bring us to Dawn. Dawn, all you want to do is roll over and let these creatures eat you.
I'm
There's
a
no
depressed
point
dragon.
in anything else.
Oh.
I'm doing that like kind of vibe
Aw.
noise that sad puppies make. But I suppose at the end of my turn I will roll another wisdom save.
Another wisdom save indeed.
Sure. 1d10.
So sorry.
16?
16, still not enough.
Ah!
I apologize. So sorry. It's all you want to do is just die. However, at the end of your turn, brings us to Ashlyn. Ashlyn reaches out, looks like she's getting ready to close another void, but she looks and sees what's happening to you, and instead she takes the energy she was sending towards the void and sends it towards you, and with a blast of light, just blasts this despairing muck right off of you like a wind that blows it off of you, and as it does, your spirit returns, and you are going to be fine for your next turn.
I'm gonna learn
Whew.
that trick.
That's going
Right.
to bring us to the Void Ravagers that are going to not be able to attack you at advantage, since all you want to do is let them eat you. See here. I'm going to have an entropic bite upon the Shadow Dragon. A dirty 20 is going to hit. So once again, your maximum HP, you take half of your maximum HP in damage.
Okay.
And that actually becomes your new max. So, is your
All this
what is
math
your
is hurting
maximum?
my
I'm
head.
now at 37.
Yeah.
You're now at 36. Oh, it's at 37. All right. Very good. That is that. The second one is going to attack. 9 will miss.
Fuck off.
The last one that is still up lurches forward.
Stupid thing.
Opens its mouth. As it does, you hear the
Yeah.
crackle and snapping of its tendons and body as it comes down and tries its very best to make its final. I rolled a natural 20. Yes. I'm so sorry. Let's see. Did we lose Samus because
Yeah,
of the weather?
His internet went down.
Alrighty. We'll hope it comes back soon. Otherwise, we'll have to carry on without him. So that is the final attack. It doesn't do any extra damage to you. It's just a hit. So it once again takes your maximum HP and halves it.
And it rounds down, right?
Yes, rounds down. What is your
Yeah.
total?
18?
Total is 18. All right. That is those. We're going to go for Win next.
Thank God I'm a shadow dragon.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is just
A-
depressing. Like
22 is going to hit. Win, your maximum
Damn it.
HP is...
Just my max HP is halved, so 42.
So 42. Then the second bite from another one is going to be a
So
natural 1 for a miss.
okay.
so that means I'm
and then
down to 42, right? Because I had
42,
56.
correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the last one is going to miss with a 17.
Yep.
And then against Niall, let me see here. I've got a bite coming. It's going to be a 16. His AC is 15, so that will hit. I'm going to roll a
Did
d20.
you subtract a d6 from that, Sean?
I did not. I will. Is that a cutting words you're using?
Nope, that is the synaptic static.
Something except that. Yeah, sorry. The d6. 6. So that's gonna be a 10 for a miss. And then
Use a good
I
dog.
tell you what. I
Niall.
tell you, we're going to skip the ones that are attacking Samus since he's not here. We're going to assume that he takes some damage, he dodges some, and we'll go on from there. And that is going to bring us to his turn, which again he continues to hop back and forth.
Fast as fuck,
Just
boy.
a second here. That is going to bring us to the Nixien Guard. Go for it.
Okay. I am going to roll to see if I get my take aim back.
Mhm.
D6. Yay!
Got it back. So once again, I assume you are taking aim.
I am taking aim. And, okay, so the guard takes careful aim at a creature you can see within 600 feet, which is so far, like, across state lines.
Oh my god.
Ridiculously far.
600, 600, until the end of its next turn. When the guard makes a ranged weapon attack against that creature, it rolls an additional 1d12 and adds it to the result, which I didn't do. We will call that fresh arrow
All right.
novices. And then if the attack hits, it deals an additional 21 damage.
Nice.
So, okay, so let's see.
All right.
Oh my god.
Oh.
You're cursed.
I'm afraid, once again, the massive a line of the bow is pulled back with it.
Big mad.
And flies out, creates another enormous hole in the junction, and Quella watches this as, whose side are you on?
I'm just trying to clarify. That's on our side, right? Because it just keeps putting holes in things.
Maybe
looks at-
the helmet is a bit askew, so maybe someone can.
She sends you the dirtiest look, Jack, as she looks at me. She's no mood
Imagine,
whatsoever to
the
be
construct's head just like rotates a full 180 degrees. It's just like. Zzz. I'm so sorry.
That is Dixie and Guard's turn done. Brings us to Jack.
That's you.
Woohoo! Sorry, I had a moment of okay, so the dragon is no longer fucked. Everything else
Correct.
is great, lovely.
I mean, I'm not saying that the dragon's in great shape.
Yeah, right. No kidding, right? How? What's the worst that could happen?
Why did you
Yeah.
say that?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I apologize.
Oh no, the
I-
DM's smirking.
I know, right?
It's just my permanent. It's my permanent look now.
Yeah.
I don't have a poker
Resting
face.
smirk face.
Yeah,
All I have is just my face, my smirk of enjoyment.
Yeah, right. I'm just having a great time killing my friends, playing with my friends. Okay, I will at the
Yay!
4th level
Ooh.
cast Dissonant Whispers. Who's how many of the bastards over by the dragon are still alive? I see one.
Two of them are wounded, having been breathed upon.
All right.
One of them is extremely wounded.
Okay. Which one is extremely wounded?
The one that is the furthest away.
All right. So the one that is the most extremely wounded, I will go ahead then and hit it with a level 2 Dissonant Whispers. So, as
Alrighty.
you see, like
The one that's extremely wounded. You're going for that one?
the ones that are extremely wounded. So, ding, like hit that thrummy bass note, and then like as it sends out this like whisper of a hum. Within that hum, it begins to distort and sound almost like when you scrape a nail against a violin string. It's just that.
Ugh.
As it does that, and it just like, and then,
Like
within
the
that-
Joker's
within that-
music from The Dark Knight Rises.
Oh, absolutely.
Not the Dark-
Like,
not the Dark Knight
Hans
Rises, the
Zimmer
Dark Knight.
all the way.
Yeah.
And as it does that, like he's like, and then like within that shrill scream, the creature hears, "Just lay down and die. Just lay down and die. Just lay down and die." So
It had one hit point
Oh,
left.
I'm aware.
So even if
I'm
it
aware.
rolls its saving throw, which I'm not gonna roll, you watch as it folds in on itself and just leaves this reality with a small pop.
lovely.
It is gone. Anything else, Jack?
Got 99 problems, and that guy's no longer one. All right.
All right.
So,
Oh no,
Not
I
done yet.
don't
Go
like
ahead.
that.
yeah, no, that's good. No, that's me. I'm gonna be done.
Yes,
So-
sorry.
Samus is back.
Storm.
Yes, survive the storm.
And that's when he looked up and said,
Damn
"I
right.
am the storm." Hair toss.
How
Well,
dare you?
Oh
Wow.
my God. You monster.
Rude.
Wow. Good night, everybody.
Ryan lost a friend tonight.
Ryan.
Happened ages ago.
But I thought the real treasures were the friendships we learned along the way.
Jack, are you
gotta be
done with
careful
your
or you're
turn?
going into the backpack.
I know, right?
Are you done with your turn, Ryan?
I'm done.
Okay,
I'm so
good.
done.
Win.
Done with
I
everything.
can't believe I'm still beating the shit out of the same thing, but
Yeah.
here I go.
Kind of rough without their smites. 12's a
Ugh.
miss.
18.
18 is a hit, however.
Better be it. Better be it.
You better fix my life, you little shit.
8. 8
8
damage.
points of damage. All that damage is 8. It is still up.
You know, the other sword does more damage.
Ryan,
I'm just.
fight me.
That was
was
Jack talking. That was just Jack.
Let's bring us to Dawn. Dawn the Shadow Dragon. Would you please roll to see if you get your breath weapon back?
Do it.
That's
Do it.
not what that was supposed to. Okay, slasher. What do you?
Come on.
Oh.
I do not.
Serious. Do not. Now, technically, even while you were stunned, you would have been able to
Ooh.
still roll to see if you got it back. So roll again.
Oh.
Roll again.
I do not.
No, you do not.
But I do, however, have 3 attacks that I can do.
Go for it.
So I'm gonna take a bite at the one closest to Kella.
Okay.
18.
18 hits.
Yes.
It
Oh, this
takes
is gonna hurt.
17 piercing damage and 1 necrotic.
Interesting. Okay.
Interesting.
I rolled not great.
It looks extremely wounded.
And then I'm gonna swing at it with one of my claws.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Natural 20.
Fuck yes.
Oh dear.
And I rolled I rolled really high damage slasher 6 for another 16 points of damage.
16 points of damage. As the claw comes from completely eviscerates this creature, going right through where the mouth is, and the claw, there's some of the shadow that makes up your claw actually is sucked off and into the void that this thing creates as it just and explodes, or actually doesn't explode, just pops out of existence.
Implodes.
And then I'll
Implodes, thank you.
swing my claw around and go for the other one with my second claw attack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another
Oh
natural 20!
We are blessed
Yes!
this evening.
How
I
long
know.
can you stay a dragon?
Redemption.
She is become death.
Slasher.
The damage! Oh my god!
For 27 points of damage!
Holy crap! This one also implodes with the destructive power of your mighty claw.
Yes.
How come
Hell
my
yes,
dragons
God.
never roll that well? And
This dragon
behold
is made
the
a
power
big
of
man.
regret. So at the end of this turn, before the Void Ravagers have their final turn or have their next turn,
Wait, what?
in through the back door and in through the front, you see Valen the Jade, the massive green gargoyle, along with the remaining Nixian guard. All of them sustain cracks and severe damage, as it appears that they are not immune to this consuming power that these creatures have. Bursts in, destroy them! And the Nixian guard and Valen the Jade, along with Ashlyn and yourselves, Johan and Kella, manage to lay waste to the remaining Void Ravagers, rolling over them without any difficulty. None of them having had a chance to eat away at enough of the junction to cause it even to sway. It is still there. The muck dissolves and dissipates into the ground if it's not sucked up into the void, the rips and the rifts that Ashlyn has created, destroying. All of it seems to dissipate. However, the muck sticks around for a bit longer than the monsters do. There's a few other Nixian guard that chase it away or sort of keep it at bay with their spears, separating it out, sort of cutting it into smaller pieces until enough of it evaporates, sort of like snow or large pieces of ice. As the fight concludes, Valen and Ashlyn approach you. Johann steps forward in front of you all and takes off his hat and rushes to your side. He says, Valen looks at you all, heaving breath, and takes a deep breath and then settles himself. You see his razor sharp wings fold behind him, and he's instantly calm. And he looks at you, looks at Johann and says, are these the newest arrivals in the crossing? Johann nods and replies, we're lucky they got here when they did. Ashlyn looks at you all and says, lucky indeed, especially given all the excitement. Please, keep the items that you chose from the vault as thanks. And Johann bows as the group of you step out of the junction to survey the battlefield. Johann says, that's not even the half of it, my sovereign. I've been seeing strange things out in the Ashen Fields. Things I think probably shouldn't be happening. My newest wards have far more recollection of their death than I'm used to encountering. There were shadow twisters, definitely out of season. Many things that shouldn't be happening. And as he says this, there is a deafening crack of thunder that peals across the sky, rolling across the plains. The massive purple vortex in the sky darkens a bit, and streaks of blue lightning begin to flash throughout the black and purple sky. The thunder rolls again, and the clouds open up, and thousands of bodies wreathed in scarlet flame begin to rain down on the sunless crossing. And Johann looks up and it says, like that. That definitely should not be happening. And that will be where we take a break. See you all back here in about 5 minutes while we get a drink and stretch a bit, but ready to continue this on when we return.
I guess it's a good thing we got murdered when we did.
Yikes.
Jeez.
Bye.
See you soon.
Shit.
Remember to check out the Discords in chat. When we return, we'll talk to you a little bit about some giveaways that we're doing. So, see you soon. And welcome back. If you are just now joining us, welcome. We are Severed Threads, Notes from the Black Ballad, which is a awesome new module written by the incredibly talented folk over at Storyteller's Forge. It takes place in the afterlife, and it is a high-level campaign, which we all know has its own special brand of intensity. We're having a lot of fun with it. If you would like to know more about this module, more about Storyteller's Forge, then you should definitely check them out. Their link to their Discord is in chat. If you like the music that you're hearing, you have Drake and the band Diamorte to thank for that. Again, the two of them, Storyteller's Forge and Diamorte, sponsoring this live stream, and we're very grateful. And if you like the art that you're seeing, then you have the amazing Kai to thank for that. You want to know more about her? Also, link in the chat. If you like to get free stuff, then please head over to Storyteller's Forge Discord right now. Mention this stream, Severed Threads, Tales from the Black Ballad, Notes from the Black Ballad, I should say. Mention the stream, and you will be put into a raffle to win something cool from Storyteller's Forge. If you go to my Discord, medium rare, link in the chat, and mention the stream, then you will be put into a raffle to win some dice. Who doesn't like dice? So, with that out of the way, let us dive back in. Oh, have you been attacked by a cat again?
Oh my god.
The timing was uncanny.
Greatest
I
reaction.
Wow.
I was looking at you, and the look of fear on your face.
I don't know for sure what's happening behind me when he does that.
Oh my god.
That was
Amazing.
uncanny timing.
Can you see the shadow of you, like from?
I don't
That's
know
the
what
shadow.
he's
Attacking
doing,
the shadow.
probably.
Yes. Also apparently sponsored by cats.
Yes.
Cats everywhere.
Black cat.
Cats.
Black cat.
So,
Jellicle cats, come out to play.
wait. Yeah. Take the shot. Sorry, Ryan.
Oh my god.
So, the adventurers
This is serious.
It is deadly serious.
Mhm.
The adventurers just defended the large tavern and inn known as the Junction, a waypoint on their way to the city of Nox Valar here in the Sunless Crossing, a strange interim place, a limbo, a waiting area, a collection of souls that have the potential to be resurrected, so they are not yet ready to move on to their final rest. But at this inn, there are a series of attacks. First, undead, which claimed the life of Dusk, Dawn's sister, when she was felled with a mortal blow. Rather than have a chance to resurrect her or to revivify her, her body immediately turned to ash. And Dawn is still reeling from that, and the entire party for that matter. The godless monarchy, in the forms of Arbiter Sovereign Ashlyn and Arbiter Phelan the Jade, have arrived and helped to defend as well. The very last thing that happened as the last enemies were defeated was the sky opened up and thousands of corpses wreathed in red flame begin to fall in the distance, lighting up the sky. Based on Johan, your Ashen Shepherd's response, this seems to be an unusual occurrence. However, Valen the Jade looks up at it, looks around, and then shakes his head and says, "This has happened before. Not quite like this, but this many souls arriving means there must be some massive battle happening in one of the mortal realms. It is unusual, but nothing to be alarmed about. However, there will be a large influx of souls soon. Sovereign, we should return to Nox Valar." And Sovereign Ashlyn, her gaze still being held by these falling corpses, nods slowly and then takes a breath and decisively, "Yes, you're right, Valen." Turns, looks at the group of you and gives a small smile and says, "Again, thank you for your aid. Quite lucky you were here. We'll see
This
you
place.
at Knoxville." Pardon?
What makes it so special? Why is it so necessary to defend in such a large realm as this?
This place in particular, the junction.
Yes.
Well, for no other reason than to defend the souls, yours included, that were here when this just happened. But Junction serves a very important purpose. Way place for weary souls on their journey to Knoxville. Perhaps we'll see you there. She
I don't doubt
turns
it.
away, and once again there is a growing ball of energy that grows and encompasses both Valen and Ashlyn, and stays for a moment as they disappear, and the rest of the Nixian guard, including the one that aided you in your fight, step into it and disappears. You can see there are numerous signs of battle on all of them as they make their way in. No one emerged completely unscathed. But as they leave, you're left with the souls that you saw here in the junction when you first arrived, about 24 of them, Quella and Johan. And of course,
I'll go up to
the
Johan.
only thing is different
I'm
is
sorry.
that Dusk is not with you.
I will go up to Johan and I'll point at Dawn and I'll say, Tell her her sister will be all right.
Am
Of
I
course,
still a dragon?
Of course. You are still a dragon, unless, I mean, it has a long...
Tell the dragon her sister will be all right.
The fucking dragon just like,
Johan doesn't have a larynx to gulp, but he does sort of shake a little bit as if he did. Walks. I assume you're keeping concentration on the dragon, or do you wish to drop it?
oh,
The dragon's gonna poke Jack with her nose.
it's like, oh, we have been attacked twice since we've sat down, and I have yet to get my food. So, like, I'm
Jack.
just saying.
Jack, drop it.
Quella looks at it and says, "If it's gonna stay, it should probably go outside. It's
Oh,
beginning to knock things over."
What? It's housebroken, and that's more than you can say for that
Jack.
frickin' guard that put a couple of holes through the. And fine. All right, and so like Jack will fly up to the shadow dragon's head and put his forehead to the dragon's forehead and say, "You can let it go. Just smell the flower, blow out the candle."
The dragon will actually take a big deep breath, and as I do, I'll fall to my knee. Dawn will fall to her knees as I come out of the dragon.
Somebody, catcher.
All right.
As in, like, so you see the dragon sort of converge back into this ball of owl feathers, and as it does so, Dawn briefly explodes with these enormous, beautiful, giant, like white, snowy owl wingspan, and as she kind of suspends herself in the air for a second, and then she collapses down to the floor as the polymorph drops.
Ow!
All right.
Sorry, I said catch her. I'm small. Boy.
Johan steps up to you and takes off his hat, revealing a completely rounded skull. It says, I understand that what you witnessed may be quite distressing, but I assure you, any death that occurs to a soul here in the Sunless Crossing is a inconvenience, to be sure, and should be avoided because too many times can have a detrimental effect. But in 24 hours, she will return, and while she cannot appear in the city, with such a strong bond, I'm sure that she will arrive right where you are. I suggest, while normally I would want us to press on ahead, since she is likely to arrive here, we should wait for her. Is that acceptable?
There's no other option.
Very well. I will see to making sure there are rooms for you to rest, and perhaps a bit more food and drink.
Johan, what do you mean by unravel?
Well, each time a soul is destroyed here in Sunless Crossing, it will return, but too many times things begin to be lost. Memories, sensations, personality. Till eventually, if it gets too far gone, then the soul will appear and have no recollection of who they were. And I think it should be obvious to you now, memory is what makes you here. Even the items that you have with you, obviously, the clothes on your body, the important pieces of jewelry that you have brought with you, they don't have souls. They're here because you remember them strong enough for them to be here. That could apply to yourself as well. So, hold fast to those memories.
Will she come back, like, as she was, or will she be impacted, or will she be
the
deteriorated?
the first time should be fine. She will probably notice a difference, but there will be no difference in her personality.
Are you all right, Dawn?
I've never been without Dusk. We've gone everywhere together. And she was born first. I don't know this. I don't know how to exist without Dusk. And I have now watched her die twice in such a short period of time, and I failed to keep her alive, the one person I want to keep alive more than anything. I'm not okay. At all.
Wynn will come up to you and put both her hands on your shoulder and say, what you're feeling is exactly right. But what's going to happen is she is going to return. This is temporary. And we're going to get through these next 24 hours. And we're never going to do it again.
To that note, how's everybody doing? We should probably do our best to try to keep ourselves as healthy as possible.
Yeah, DM, I'm down to 42 max hit points. Am I still?
You are still at 42 max hit points.
So I
Those of
feel
you
like
who are...
in an hour or so, I'm going to have them back.
If I had to, like, ballpark it, it's like...
You feel terrible, and if you've ever felt terrible, you feel like it's going to be that way forever. Logically, somewhere you know that surely rest will help, but you're not sure.
Should we short rest for the time being? I know we have rooms being prepared for us, but Jesus, considering whoever the hell that is, considering how often this junction gets attacked, it's a Fae friend of mine, really great drummer.
I could use a long rest. I was very disappointed in my effectiveness in the last fight.
Well, look.
I'm not looking for your commentary.
And yet, you have it.
I think we could all use a rest.
I'm actually feeling pretty great, but yeah, sure, yeah. Oh, everybody, yeah.
24 hours is a long time.
God.
During this time, you can tell that Johan is a little anxious, but he respects and understands that you need to stay where you are so that you can be rejoined by your companion. Does anybody have anything they wish to do or say privately? Obviously, a long rest is had. You are given rooms. There are rooms that appear to be just like the rooms that you would expect to find in a tavern or an inn. There are beds. However, as you lie down upon them, you don't really sleep. You just sort of lie there. You enter a state that would be best described as the memory of sleep. But you find that
Also,
with a
it's
moment's...
It's just having a toddler. Good.
Exactly. With a moment's thought, you can go from being sort of laid out and calm to wide awake. There is no in-between period. There's no, oh God, I need coffee. It is just awake. But go ahead and mark off a long rest. Obviously, with 24-hour period, there will easily be time for a long rest. But in addition to that, does anybody have anything they wish to do or say while you wait in the junction? The souls that were here with you seem rattled by what happened, but their ashen shepherd gathers them up and leaves with them. And as such, for a time being, the junction is empty except for you all. Johan and Quella are working hard. They expect a large influx of souls coming soon. And as such, they're extremely busy, but they can answer questions if you have them.
I definitely have questions for Johan.
All right. He stops for a moment. He's sweeping up some debris from the fight and looks at you. Miss Weird, yes.
Why do you look this way and others don't?
I might have mentioned it before, but I actually entered into this area, this existence, in the form I currently am. I was cursed to a life of undeath, but complicated working of magic allowed me to retain my soul, and as such, when I died, I looked like this. And you enter, at least everyone else has entered into the Sunless Cross, and however you appeared when you died. Which is why I'm so confused, and he looks over at Niall, as to why your friend is no longer a wolf. The only explanation I can think of is that there are no dogs or wolves or animals of that nature in the Sunless Cross. Something about their afterlife, wherever they go, it is not here. Perhaps that is why Mr. Niall has appeared in this form as opposed to the form he held.
Well, for the record, I was this way first.
So, if I were looking for someone, they would, if they were here, they would or should look the way that they did.
Yes, things change over time, of course.
But they don't age, they don't...
Usually not. Once you have been here for long enough, there are certain things that you can do to change how you look, all involving magic, but...
Do you have records, Johan?
Well,
does this place keep tabs of who's come through?
Yes. These questions, oftentimes, the keepers of the eternal sand will have a record of souls that have come through, and of course there is also a library, a vast library in Knoxville that keeps records of all the mortal realms that are attached to this existence. If there is a specific soul you are looking for, there do exist the means by which you can find them. I will be happy to assist you in that, if that is how you desire to spend the time you have here.
That's the only thing I desire. Yes, please help me with that now if you can.
I cannot help you with it here. It would be Knoxville. Here at the junction, I'm afraid all we can provide is a place to rest and some food and drink.
Soon, Win. Soon.
Do you remember a little girl? ever
Oh,
coming through
wow.
here quite little?
Unfortunately, yes. There are many children that die and make their way here. But there are also many ashen shepherds, so while I have shepherded my share of children, there is no guarantee that I have shepherded the one that you seek. But I think I now understand how important this is to you. I will make every effort to help.
At the empathy towards her situation, you see a wall go up pretty hard, and she currently nods, says thank you, and goes to, I don't, sit by a fire, have a drink, something meditative.
Dawn is probably over by a fire, flipping through what you noticed when you came up is a book of children's stories that seems to have a bunch of writing in the margins that you've probably seen her holding before, but she's just kind of flipping through the book.
I'm going to pick up the items that Dusk selected from the vault that did not disappear with her, and I'm just going to quietly put them down on the table next to you, Dawn.
It's a Nixian sickle and the staff of dread.
Staff of Hugo.
The staff of dread.
Oh yeah!
Quella comes by and offers you a glass of some warmed pomegranate ale with a few extra spices. Dawn looks at you, gives you an encouraging smile, and says, "Not too long now."
Donald just,
What's the book?
it's children's stories. Dusk found it when we were kids. Gave it to me. It's mostly my writing, but every once in a while she'd add a note or two.
You had critiques on your children's stories?
They're not critiques, they're just thoughts that I had while reading it,
Oh,
you know. And like I said, Dusk added some.
Tell me
Hers
something
were
she
mostly
wrote.
critiques.
Sounds about right.
I knew it.
So, I don't know. I've just, something from her, something of her, to keep me busy until I can hear her say something snarky again.
Well, the other half of your brain will be arriving shortly.
Hmm.
Chin up, darling. Both of them. And I'll walk away.
Goodness.
Dawn for the first is gonna realize that Niall has been trying to comfort her, and she's going to do something that she hasn't done before, and she's going to attempt to see what is going on with him.
Ooh.
And I'm gonna reach out my empathic awareness towards him.
You encounter absolutely nothing.
Look at the back of his head and fuck, I was really hoping it was the wolf thing.
Well, it appears
I was
that it
walking away,
not.
so I didn't see you try.
Yep.
So, anybody else? All right. The appointed hour comes. You all wait nervously at the door to the junction, gazing up in the sky. You could still see these souls falling. Not quite as many now. It's not by the thousands, but there's never a point in the sky when there's not several dozen in view, all over the Sunless Crossing. None of them have found their way to the junction as of yet, but that is only a matter of time as far as Johan and Quella are concerned. And then there is a bright golden light that appears in the sky and begins to, different from the others. All the other ones you've seen have been clad in this scarlet fire, but this one is golden, like you were all when you first arrived. And it comes straight out of the sky, making directly for where Dawn is standing. and just before it arrives, it slows down. Then, with a splash of golden liquid, which dissipates instantly, you see in a fetal position the figure of Dusk, who arrives exactly as she was the first time she arrived. No wounds, bearing exactly what she had with her when she had come before. Dusk, as far as you're concerned, no time has passed. The last thing you saw was one of these crimson whites bearing down upon you, and then next thing you know, golden light, and here you are again.
What the hell?
Welcome back.
I'm outside.
You are.
Dawn is running and just like is down on the ground, just like hugging her sister.
What happened? What? Are you okay?
You died.
Yeah, we're dead.
No, you died again. You've been gone. You turned into ashes in front of us.
I'm patting myself.
You're not allowed to do that again.
I wasn't trying to do it.
You're not allowed to do that again. And as I'm saying that, I'm casting Death Ward on my sister.
All right, Death Ward indeed. Interesting. I wonder how that will work here.
I love that we keep just throwing random wrenches into Sean's understanding of the rules.
Right, well,
It says instead of dropping to 0, you go to 1, not you go to 1 after hitting 0.
Fair enough,
You go
fair
to
enough.
1
I'm
instead.
familiar with what
So
the
I'm
spell
hoping
says.
that helps. I'm hoping it helps.
Did I turn
Yeah,
into
How
a
many of those can
dragon?
you cast?
How do you know that?
everyone turns into dragons.
I will be more
Oops,
liberal.
all dragons.
Seeing that my sister's quite upset, gonna drop the snark and just hug Dawn and just hold her tight and very confused, but not gonna question it. Just gonna go. No time for standing.
We're just like
Jay
laying
flies
on the
over
ground
and says,
hugging each other.
Hey, congratulations! Glad you're not dead. And he
When you were saying?
Druid crafts a little black rose for you. And just
Oh.
Thank you.
I will be more liberal with my healing from now on. I thought I had more time to heal you. Clearly, I was wrong.
The interesting thing, I definitely remember, dropping in battle, but everything was just a flash, and now, like, I didn't even feel like I was going to attempt anything. It was just as if I woke up.
wait, so to your mind, you just died and came right back.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, this is not boring on the other side. That's nice.
I guess it does mean that this is literally it. There's
I'm
nothing
sure.
beyond here.
Also, your sister turned into a dragon, which was amazing.
You did what?
Oh, it was really, really cool.
A shadow dragon.
a
Can you
really
do it
good-
again?
I didn't do it. I think it was something Yak did.
It's pronounced Jake.
But I'm not gonna lie, Jack, you looked a little surprised that I was a dragon.
It's no problem. Jay. But yes, I oftentimes, as a performer, like to keep the illusion of the moment alive.
Interesting.
Not so.
I don't
Do it
mean
more,
to-
though. That's cool.
I do not mean
Right?
to
I
rush
mean,
you
look,
all.
I cast
I'll just
war
wait.
horses, and then all of a sudden, skeletal horse. Did you hear a voice from somewhere? That was
Johan's
weird.
trying to talk.
Oh, so sorry,
Yes.
Johan.
I'm just
Man,
like,
speak up. This guy's nothing but bones. All right.
No. Yes.
It's like a wind.
Now that you have all, now that you have all reassembled, I would like to continue to shepherd you to the city of Noxvala, where you could finally begin your true experience here in the Sunless Crossing.
Is it much farther?
Not at all. Not at all.
Will there be much death where we're going?
That's funny.
I'll start getting up and pulling Dawn up with me. I can't be away from you. You know that no matter, even in death, we're always together.
Yeah, but for the longest period of time ever, we were apart, and I didn't like it. So, also now found these, and I'm gonna hand you the 2 things.
Thank you.
As you make contact once again with the Staff of Dread,
God
there's
damn
a-
it.
as the corpse that is on top of the staff begins to pull itself off, do you wish to continue?
Let's see what happens.
Behold!
I cast
Sniveling
silence.
slime!
Read the room.
I was really curious to see if he.
It's the same thing every damn time.
Then begins to assemble itself back on top of the staff,
All right,
clearly
drop it.
proud of whatever it is it said.
Good job.
So,
good job. Good job.
Not daunted at all by the silence. And so, you bid farewell to the junction. Kala stands at
Good riddance.
the doorway and waves, says, "Y'all come back now." And as you make your way away, once again, treading over the ash-covered grass and wheat, making a trail heading towards the distant plateau that is the city of Noxvala. You travel for a few more hours. Every now and then, Johan asks a question to get information flowing, but for the most part, you travel in silence.
Yak will take a moment and in the travels to pull Win aside and say, you know, whatever you need to do to find her, I'm here. I got your back.
I know.
Just
I can't decide if I'm hoping to find her because I want to see her so badly, or if I'm hoping that I don't. Because how could a little girl be here alone for all that time?
well, to be fair, we were just kind of in the boonies of this land. We're about to be into the big city. Hopefully it's a little more razzle-dazzle.
Doesn't respond. Keeps walking. She
Oh, come on.
did summon her steed, if she could do that while we were walking.
Absolutely, yes, indeed. Once again, the Cerberus, that is just the 2 heads at this point, but you know when battle arrives, the 3rd skeletal head will emerge from the middle. This really sounds horrifying. Asking
want one.
earlier about my phobias, that might be one. At any rate.
2 and 3-headed dogs.
Oh. Ugh.
Want.
As you make your way across the Sunless Crossing, Wynn on the back of her steed, where at first, for once there, the horizon was just a black line in the distance where the wheat and the golden gray stalks disappear. But now you can see quite clearly a mesa rising up. It almost appears to be growing up from the ground and reaching for the violet vortex that is clearly above it, centered directly above it and then radiating out from it. It's squat. It's not a huge mesa. It is like sort of like a mouth of a well, perhaps, where the sky is pouring its essence down into it. As you walk, you get a sense that it is at the same time both far away and also looming above you. Your mind tries to make out the black skyline that's imprinted on the roiling purple clouds. You can make out within the city onyx spires and gold domes. There are waterfalls on the edge of the mesa, but they have that effect when water comes out of a pipe or out of a surface in a particular way. It flows and almost looks like it's not moving, but you can hear it moving, obviously. As you approach, there's a rumble to it that almost has a rhythm. You could feel it in your bones. It's like a steady thrum. And it sounds somewhat familiar. It almost feels like it's the rhythm to a song that you've known all of your life, but you can't quite bring it to mind. As you approach, you see there is a opening in the mesa that is at the surface of the plains that you're walking upon. Put you on a map so you can see better what it is I'm talking about.
Ooh,
It's so pretty.
it is.
Well, you see a road essentially that leads up to it. There is an archway at the base of it. It's huge, 30 feet by 60 feet. So 60 feet tall, 30 feet wide. It's been carved right into the rock face. The sides of it have been hewn to resemble columns of faces that hail from dozens of different species and races. You see all of the species you've ever encountered, and some that you have never seen before, representing, you expect, the countless souls that have passed through this plane. The top of the archway, there is a massive gargoyle with a stoic face. Its wingspan is immense, and it creates the curved arches of the gateway itself. And as you approach it, Johann pauses and takes his hat off and gives a slight nod and says, "That, my friends, is a statue of Pella, the longest serving arbiter in the history of the Sunless Crossing. Don't know if you know this, but gargoyles' wings grow as they age, and for several thousand years, Pella used her wings to shield many souls in those old, early days, well before my time." He looks over his clavicle at you as you pass underneath. He says, "Don't let the bones fool you. I'm not that old. This place, far older than most can possibly recount, except maybe a few of the creepers. They are a crotchety bunch, them, and lucky for you, they happen to be your first stop."
Before we get there, Johann, gargoyles,
Yeah.
do they die? What happens to them when they cease to exist?
Well, they do not have souls of their own, so, sadly, they are some of the only beings in the Sunless Crossing that can truly die, never to return. Quite durable, so takes more than just a simple accident to bring them down, but yes, their
When
nature.
that gargoyle came and joined us in the fight, there was passion in his eyes. He cared about the people here.
Yes,
You
Valen the
can't tell me
Jade.
that there's... You can't tell me a creature like that has no soul. What drives them?
That, my friend, is a very interesting question. I expect you'll have plenty of time to ponder it if you ever do come to a conclusion on what the nature of a soul is. I would be quite interested in hearing it. I can only tell you what I know. The souls that arrive here as golden drops of light, they have the ability to pass on, either to their eternal rest or be resurrected. Gargoyles have neither of those options of their future. Whether that means they do not have a soul or some other strange, arcane, or eldritch secret, that is not a question that I have learned the answer to.
The gargoyles and the defenders at the junction, they mentioned that this sort of anomaly has happened before.
What do you mean, all of the souls coming at once? Oh, yes. I have not. Well, I suppose not to this degree, but I trust Valen the Jade and Sovereign Ashlyn. If there is a massive war happening, it would certainly account for the thousands of souls that we've witnessed. There's going to be a huge influx, so better get your place in line quickly. So
The red.
let's scoot along, shall we?
What are the reds? Why are some like we came down golden, but why are the others coming down red?
Couldn't tell you. At any rate, beyond this archway, as you move in, is a cavernous tunnel that is supported by thick columns. It begins to wind back and forth up through the interior of the mesa and leading to its surface. It's very well lit. There are hundreds of torches that are burning with an arcane light that glows purple one moment and then aquamarine the next. As you make your way up and out of it, you see before you the city of Nox Valar. The first place you arrive is a large open area. You come up out of the ascension row, out of the tunnel, and Johann looks around and says, "We call this the Grey Vista. It passes along the entire exterior of Nox Valar, and as you can see, it is quite a view." And he gestures out towards the area beyond, and you do see a very stunning view of the Sunless Crossing. I'm going to move you to a more conventional map so you can see where you are, and as you pass through these various places, I will reveal them on the map and give you a brief description.
Nice.
Let's get
Almost makes you glad you're dead. Almost.
this map, incidentally, is in the book, The Black Ballad. So, as is the picture before, lots of great art and resources in this book.
Man, I love maps.
I know, right? My daughter once said you could tell a book's going to be good because it has a map in the front of it. And I was like,
Oh,
yes,
absolutely.
ma'am.
Yes. Facts.
Love her.
Yes, ma'am.
Facts.
What a good
So-
way to define a book. Like, oh, there's a map. I'm gonna like it.
So, as you arrive here at the Grey Vista, you can
Okay.
see it extends along the entire exterior of the Mesa, and that entire area is referred to as the Grey Vista. As you were studying, you see many souls milling about, but they are of all types. You see dwarves, elves, humans, halflings, some halflings that are much smaller and more lithe than the stout-footed halflings that you are used to. You see a bizarre insect-like creature skitter past you all, looks towards you with two large, multifaceted eyes, and then looks away, and followed immediately by an enormous creature the size of a giant that has a reptilian face and strange armor-like plates going vertically down its back, all the way down to a tail that extends behind it, wearing an enormous belt and its two thick legs carrying it forward like tree trunks, vibrating the ground as you move past. Everywhere you look, bizarre creatures of every type, seemingly gathered in relative peace. You see some speaking to each other. You see some clearly engaged in some sort of task or errand. In a sense, a normal city.
Speaking common.
You do hear some people speaking common, also a variety of other languages.
And so, but it seems to have the same rules of language here as the living. That there are some languages we don't know, and there is a common one.
At first glance, at first hearing, that you would seem to think that is the case. As you take all of this in, a strange creature makes its way over towards you. It has wings, and it has spikes or spines rolling from a widow's peak, the center of its face, and then coming back, slicked back, almost like a barrister would have, a very slick, oily look. Scales, but more like spines over its entire body. However, they are colored in such a way that it almost appears as if it is wearing clothing, complete with a light cravat that comes down the front of its chest. The rest of its body seems to be black. You can see ruffle-like spines at its wrists. Comes towards you and alights gently in front of you all. Well, I can see at a glance that you are far more intelligent than the normal people who arrive here. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Omen Osro, and I'm pleased to make your acquaintance. I wonder if I might have a moment of your time.
Of course. What can we do for you?
Johann makes a sound almost as if he's trying to clear his throat, though there is no phlegm. Sort of makes a sound, very strange, and
something like this.
Clicks his staff, getting your attention. He says, "I would not pay any attention to any fiends you encounter here, especially right at the entrance. Always looking for newcomers, not quite ready or understanding of the rules to cheat."
Ah, I see. I didn't recognize.
I just say, are we geeking out for a second? Or
yes, we know who that is.
To Avernus group? Okay, good. Sorry. Sean just pulled a
nostalgia moment.
A holler-back card. Yeah.
Omen Osrogue. As I said, you are all intelligent. This so-called shepherd might be necessary for other souls, but tell me, do you really think you would not have found your way here on your own? Dispense with this skeletal guide. I could be of far more assistance.
Well, listen here, Poshupine. We're good. You're no fiend of mind. All right, so take care. Can't wait to see the
Does he speak for all of you?
Until he proves himself untrustworthy, I am perfectly happy to follow this one. He's done right by us so far.
He's talking about he's talking about Johan, not you, Jack.
What? Oh, come on! Dragons!
I think we're quite happy with our current guide.
So be it.
I'm actively trying to pull Dawn away from this conversation.
Far be it from me to disparage your choice in guide, but do remember who he works for. If you ever wish to know the truth of how things are done here, perhaps a third party might be able to help for a small price.
Yeah, it's the price that's the problem.
Commerce, my dear. Did you really think it would be anything different? extends beyond death.
Good to see that. Yes, even in death, capitalism is alive and well. Okay, now fuck off. Thank you. All right.
Alrighty.
Are we going to be
Um,
encountering that often, Johan?
Yeah. So, Johan, is that like? I imagine those are like the used car salesmen of the Sunless Crossing.
Well, I do not know what a car is, but
Cart.
indeed.
Neither do you.
I said,
There are-
it's not. Sorry, cart. That's what I said.
Used cart salesman. Of
Yeah.
course. Excuse me. Hard to know the difference. I have no ears. You're,
You have the important part, which is the bones on the inside.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Cochlea.
my goodness. Let us move on. So, Johan begins to move you through the city, and as he does say, "Oh yes, you will encounter any number of creatures here that are not dead, although the vast majority of them are what we referred to as the betwixt. And that is what you are. But there are also gargoyles, as you have seen, but fiends and celestials, for that matter. Every now and then, a fae, perhaps something from the Shadowfell, and mortals who manage to make their way through powerful magics.
But is there some sort of? I imagine the fiends and the celestials can in some way vie for the souls that are here, but is it our own choice that we can either come or go? How?
Well, not... choice does play a part, but what really plays a part is waiting. There are quite a lot of lions here in Noxvalar, and we are heading to where you will be your first. As you travel along, he begins to point some things out. He said, "That there is what is known as the Whitestone Bluff. This is a fortress right there, Crag Vale." As he points it out, I will point it out here on the map. This area
When you say
that is...
Whitestone Bluff, is that merely?
I know, not Whitestone, Whetstone.
I was going to say the accent seems a bit thick there. For a second. So
Did I say
Whitestone Bluff.
Whetstone? Pardon me. I have a cold. As you travel he
Why
points out-
did you say it like that? Like what? Like Whitestone.
He points out the Crag Vale, which appears to clearly be a fortress of some sort. The only thing that makes it stand out is, first of all, it's right next to the entrance where you've just come in. It is made of white stone, and he says that is where the Nixian Guard has their barracks. And there's a massive shield and sword of black steel that is on the front wall. It is larger than any giant could possibly wield. And comparative to the size of this fortress, architecture boasts a very large number of towers. And he says, well, gargoyles do like to fly, and they like to perch more than anything. So, points that out.
Salmon myself.
You get the general vibe that this area here is a more martial area. You can see a massive forge that he doesn't point out, but when, as you look at it, you can see a weapon hanging on display. It bears a striking resemblance to the Nixian blade that you have. Gets to move you through the various structures here.
Before we walk
Okay, go
away, any chance that weapon's a great sword?
You know what? It is. It is a great sword. A massive weapon made of this dark mineral-like substance that is
Well,
neither
how about
diamond nor metal.
Is there anyone around to speak to?
Johan looks at it, looks at your interest. He said, I could see where you'll want to make your first stop, but can we get to the Keepers of the Eternal Sand? It's quite important that you all receive your place in line, especially with the influx of souls we are expecting. I would not want you to lose your place.
Very well.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And you begin to make your way through these buildings. Again, mostly towers and domed buildings seem to be the aesthetic here. Uh, Gold and onyx, the overriding colors. As you come around a corner, you see, cannot miss, right in the center of the city, literally and perhaps figuratively as well, is a massive tree. It is standing, towering over the city. Beautiful
Tree.
in an intimidating way, actually. It is glowing with an intense light. Looks like a wisteria. You see gold veins running through. The petals themselves white and looms over the city, unnaturally tall. And right at its base, there appears to be an enormous road that forms a ring around it. Provides a magnificent canopy between the nexus of the vortex and the sky right above it, and then the most temples you have ever seen, ever in your life, ever, anywhere. Putting anything you've seen in Waterdeep, in Baldur's Gate, in Neverwinter to shame. Temples of every size and shape. You see holy symbols you recognize and some that you don't, some that appear to be a catch-all. For example, there is a massive temple that appears to be dedicated to a sun god, the largest symbol being a 10-pointed star. However, nearby it, you see other similar temples, also with sun motifs, some with faces on them, some just a large golden disc, some with 6 spires as opposed to 10. Takes up a large area, but right next to it, you see another temple that appears to be worshiping darkness. You see the dark disc of Shar. You see a variety of moon-shaped dark discs. You see a cloud of miasmic blackness that is contained in a geometric square. All of them seem to be in the same general area, but all of them have a similar theme, and it continues as you move along the outskirts of it. As you do, Johann says, "That is called the Road to Eternity. It's a perfectly circular road, about a mile in diameter. The pathway and the tree, you will notice, all stand perfectly still over what is a pond of clear water. As you look at it, you can see that it reflects the storm above you. And then there are numerous canals that branch out from the water that surrounds the tree, goes underneath the Road of Eternity, and makes its way to the edge of Nox Valar and pours off the sides. You see dozens upon dozens upon dozens of temples, and as you pass by it, Johann says, "Oh, well, for most souls that come to the Sunless Crossing, this road is where your journey ends. In one of these temples, you will find the means to make your way to the eternal reward that awaits you, or you will find the means to get word somehow to forces back on the material plane that can see to your resurrection."
They really do.
As we're looking, do I see a temple for Azuth?
Make a perception check, please.
Natural 1.
A
Can I-
natural one.
Can I also do that in looking for my god?
Looking for Savras.
Oh.
All right. Make a perception check.
May I assist with the perception check?
Dawn, there are so many. There's got to be one here somewhere. Just because you don't see one now, you're only seeing one, maybe quadrant of the Road to Eternity as you pass by it. So there's every chance that you're just not looking in the right place. What was that check for you, Dusk?
16.
16. You don't see anything that resembles a temple to Savras.
I'll start looking a little bit anxious, and I'll turn to Johann. What about people who don't follow a deity?
Or what about people who
Well,
consider themselves one?
quite so. There are plenty of deities to choose from. You will eventually subscribe to some fate. I recommend that you choose a deity, at least one to pay lip service to. Otherwise, you could be here a very long time.
Is there a god of dogs, or the dog, or the god of the goodest boy?
Gods of nature, there are
There
plenty.
you go. Baloney. How about that?
Jack. You see me, like, my fists tense, and I, like, unconsciously reach for your neck,
Whew.
and I take a deep breath,
Maybe I should find
and
religion.
I and I put my hands down, and I just continue to stroll forward.
You
Is it
hear
good?
Dusk chuckle.
And as you move away from the road to eternity, moving along the outskirts of it, Johann says, and here we are finally.
Win, would I know what god you serve?
She doesn't. She has an
I know you like you're an oath of
oath of the
essentially-
ancients, and her
Yeah.
oath is to preserve
I'll
life.
say-
So it's
yeah, so I guess I would.
So, as you move towards what Johann has clearly identified as your destination, you see a monolith. It has four sides, made up of black and white marble, and it stretches up towards the sky. It's quite large. You can see the interior of it through a thick strip of what you assume to be glass that runs up the center of each side. And you can see that there is what appears to be sand, golden sand, running down from the top of it and gathering at the bottom. As Johann points it out, he says, you may have noticed that there is no night or day, looks towards you, the tieflings, no dawn or dusk. But this is how we keep track of time here in Knoxville. Every night, sand, once all the sand is drained from the top to the bottom, that is considered the start of night. And when it begins to pour again from the top, that is the start of morning. However, it is much more than just an oversized hourglass. You can see here, and he points at a temple that is at the base of this structure. He says, this is where you will find out how much time you are expected to wait here in the Sunless Crossing before you find out where you are to go. Fortunately, even this has a line that you must wait in, and so brings you over to a line that stretches out from the interior of the temple. And indeed, by this point, as you have walked through Knoxville, you have seen lines everywhere, queues and queues of people. And as you reach the edge of this line, he said, this line, however, will not be particularly long. And true to what he says, you move forward relatively quickly. At the end of it, you see a rather bored-looking person or soul wearing monk's robes, complete with the shaved head and the ring of hair that's cropped, the bowl cut right around it. Looks up at you and says, are these your first... Sorry, that would be Johann's accent. Are these your first coins?
Coins?
oh
He looks annoyed, looks back at Johann. You did tell him about the coins. And Johann says, no, I forgot. We don't expect you to wait in line the entire time. So some enterprising sovereign years past created soul coins. And he reaches into his robe and pulls out a handful of coins. Some are copper, some are black, and there's one that looks like it's made of similar substance as the Nixian blade that is somewhat triangular. And he says, you will receive a coin. It will inform you of what your place in line is, and when it is time for you to have your meeting with the Keepers of the Eternal Sand, it will inform you as such so that you can return and take your place. And he points at another line that appears to be the people indeed who are going inside the temple to meet with the Keepers of the Eternal Sand. You will have opportunities to acquire coins everywhere. Almost every temple will have a line that you need to acquire a coin from, and, well, you may find them useful as far as bartering is concerned. So, everyone, get your coin, and, you all receive not one like that. You all receive a black coin. It has a triangular like motif on the back, and on the other side it has a spiral, almost looks like the vortex that you see up above you. He says, hold on to that, and when the time is right, you can present it and have your meeting with the Keepers of the Eternal Sand to find out how long you are likely to be here.
Did we just
Everyone,
learn that soul coins are basically a take a number at a
Walkie-talkie?
deli?
Yeah, take a number. Yeah.
Very
These are
different
most
from
definitely
Avernus.
not soul
Oh,
coins.
okay.
Most
Just say,
definitely
yeah, no, that
not
soul coins are
soul
essentially
coins.
the buzzer you get at Panera Bread.
Yeah.
That's just like
Your sandwich is ready.
If I
Okay.
said soul coin, I do apologize. These are not soul coins. These are crossway coins.
Thank you.
Okay, good. I was like,
I will not
Experiencing
say.
some
I'm going to try
trauma.
not to confuse the two, but I have run quite a few Avernus games, so do forgive
I was
me
worried.
if the
Either we get
occasional
put in the
soul coin does
coin.
come
Yeah.
out.
that's right. I was
I
like,
was like,
wait,
we're
is
gonna
this
get a
my
bunch of them?
soul coin? Like,
Oh,
That's my
goodness.
phobia.
I apologize. A very, very big slip of the tongue. Not soul coins at all. Crossway coins.
Yeah, because that was scary for a second.
Yeah.
Completely different thing. Completely different thing.
Suddenly, I was not trusting Johan.
True. So true.
Oh, by the way,
I want to say, I'm an Osro.
I'm gonna have you all stand in this line over here.
Is this a city of endless queues?
Well, not endless, but quite a few of them.
I mean, I guess you don't have anything better to do when you're dead.
Well,
They give you the coins so that you can go do other things instead of waiting in the line.
precisely. You will find there are a number of activities you can choose to spend your time doing here in Nox Valar. I will point a few out to you as we walk. But first, let us cross over here. And as you move around the northern section of the Etherwood, and he points to a enormous building to the north. It is beautiful, seems to encompass many of the architectural elements that
Beautiful.
you see in the city, almost as if most of the buildings in the city have been modeled to resemble it. As he points it out, he said, "That is the Onyx Requiem. And that is where the godless monarchy hang their hat, so to speak, here. You see it is a massive cathedral, black stone, golden domes. It's by far the tallest building in the city. And he looks at it somewhat reverently, and he says, "It's older than the city itself." It is inspiring and imposing at the same time. And according to Johan, it is where the sovereign and the arbiter rule from, helping not only to guard the Sunless Crossing and those who pass and reside within this plane, but also direct entrances to multiple afterlives as well. With so many pathways converging in one place, there is a great deal of caution that must be practiced, both in guarding it and in seeking out threats.
So are the sovereign and the arbiter the government of this place?
Well, they are the heads of the government, heads of the godless monarchy. There are several other factions, one of which you have seen, the Nixian Guard. There are also the coin counters, and a few others. Ashen Shepherds being one of them. Speaking of the
this
coin
may be-
counters,
Yes.
He points out a building that you are coming close to. This is what is known as the Gilded Hills. I would like us to step in if we can. And as you approach this building, you see another one of these domed buildings. However, this one is almost more of a gazebo, and you could see several bored-looking souls wearing robes and an emblem that seems to indicate that they are what Johann has referred to as the coin keepers. And you see within this large gazebo a truly massive pile of treasure. Clustered piles of gold, platinum, silver, jewels, and there's really doesn't appear to have been made any sort of effort to catalog or to keep any of it delineated from any other. You don't see many chests, but you see platters, you see cups, all manner of treasure. And Johann points to it and says, there is no money per se or riches to be had unless of course
There's literally piles of it right there.
well
Like,
let me explain. It has little value, so if you have managed to make it to the Sunless Crossing, as many souls do, many of them buried with their most precious belongings, if you have any such items on you, and he looks pointedly at the earrings that the tieflings are wearing and any other jewelry that any of you happen to be wearing, I encourage you to lay the burden down here. There is a barter system in place here, the Sunless Crossing, favors to be had. That is how you are able to get other things. And of course, you are able to trade your coins. Perhaps there's someone who is not anxious to be at the head of the line. They might be willing to trade with someone who is at the back, although that is rare. More likely you'll acquire someone who is a little further in line or a little further behind. But there is a barter system regarding the crossway coins. But, as you can see, this treasure, virtually worthless. There is a shifting of the pile, and you see a enormous red snout of a dragon poke out, and a wisp of steam and smoke rise up from it. And he says, unless, of course, you are in the habit of sleeping on piles of treasure. In that case, I suppose it does have some value.
So, what would you barter for if not for a better place in line?
Well, it would depend on the line that you're trying to get a better place in. But also, there's so many different things to do. Creations people make, knowledge people have. I leave it to you to discover the wonders that can be created and shared by a vast group of souls with nothing but time on their hands. Hobbies, pursuits, perfections. Don't allow yourself to become bored by it. Don't submit to ennui. There is much that can be done and learned and experienced while you wait your turn in line.
Is the only way to get coins by joining a line?
Yes, I encourage you to join as many lines as possible. Even if you don't fully intend to reach their destination, it will be valuable to someone at some point.
And that's literally the only way to get them? Is
The
joining
crossway
lines?
coins?
Yeah.
Well, I hesitate to bring this up, but I suppose you'll find out eventually anyway. It is not the only way. There's quite a popular game here in Knoxville called Purgatory Poker.
oh,
And in fact, there is an entire building devoted to games of chance, known as the House of, and he looks towards you, Dawn, the House of the dawn. You'll find your way there eventually yourselves, I'm sure of it. But you asked if there was another way to acquire a crossway coin. Well, that is another way. And of course, if he had the ability to darken his features, he would do so. I suppose he takes his hat and pulls it down, creates a little bit more of a shadow over his face.
Oh, brim
There.
features.
There are no cities without their nefarious sides. For the most part, the godless monarchy keeps a tight grip on those who deal in contraband. But it does exist. I highly recommend you stay clear of it.
Oh, too bad.
Penalties
That sounds.
are severe.
That actually sounds interesting.
I know, doesn't it
Oh,
sound
don't
No.
say that.
No,
I mean,
no, guys, we just got here. What are you doing? If you want to do it something risky, go gamble, but like, don't do something nefarious.
Hmm.
fine.
Responsible idiocy. That's what we do.
And that's why we were murdered.
Johan,
Just saying. Putting it out there.
Yes, Miss Whelan.
is there a reason somebody would choose to never get to the head of the line and to stay here forever?
Well, I leave that for you to discover. I have found a very happy existence here in the Sunless Crossing. And there are others that enjoy the thought of pursuing their own whim within the confines of the city, of course.
Johan.
There is a negative side, I suppose. In a sense, you are trapped here, but it is not an eternal. It doesn't have to be an eternal trap, and you have plenty of diversions. It's possible
you
you
think
might
about it,
find
too.
those worthy of staying longer than your time would otherwise allow, and in which case you would need to trade your coin to someone who is further back in line than you. I do it on a regular basis.
So, Johan, is there a record keeper, someone who keeps track of the names of the people who have come through here? Basically, a catalog?
Yes, of course. The Keepers of the Endless Sands most definitely will have a catalog
Excellent.
of all the souls that have come through here, but it's possible you might be able to find more information, and he points to the north of where the Gilded Hills are, to another building, which he points and says, the Codex of the Mortal Realm. And
That does sound promising.
this, of all of the buildings you've seen, this one is the one that looks the most unique. It still has the domed spire-like motif, but it is massive, but a perfectly round sphere of black marble with a very narrow staircase that leads up to its underside. And
Is it too early to make a
once again,
detour?
that could be seen here. It is not, but I would prefer to get you set up with your housing before setting you loose into the city, as it were. Would that be
Housing?
acceptable?
Sounds like we're gonna be
Of
here for
course,
a
you need a
bit.
place to hang your hat. And he gives a little nod of his hat.
Place to rest our bones, you mean? Huh?
Mhm. You know, I thought I was
It
going
doesn't
to
get
like
any
you.
easier.
And he leans forward and says, and I do.
Ah, I knew it. See this guy?
You can keep him if you'd like.
What?
Well, I'll be looking in on you from time to time over the next several days, weeks, however long it takes for you to get your time with the Keepers of the Eternal Sands, at which point you will know how long you are likely to wait here before being called by your respective deities to your afterlife. If you wish to increase that or decrease that amount of time, you will need to speak to the head of whatever temple it is you're trying to beseech the deity that you
With the
worship.
in light of our recent assistance with the monarchy, would we get any kind of pull there in terms of?
I'm afraid you're going to have to wait your turn, just like everyone
Nah.
else.
Fair.
There is a line to see them as well. I recommend if
good.
you wish to speak with them that you get a coin as soon as you can.
Is there some way that we can find if a temple exists that we would be looking for?
As far as I know, every single deity that has a gathering of followers significant enough to be considered a deity has some sort of representation upon the road to eternity. Many of them fall under larger temples that catch all. For example, the Temple of Almanator, the sun god, goes by many names: Ra, Lathander, Pelor. But you'll find them all in that particular area. So if there is a deity you're looking for, I would suggest looking for other deities that seem to be similar.
Before you go, the assistance you
No, I'm
promised-
not going anywhere. I'm taking you to where you will be housed.
Good.
You were otherwise distracted when I did ask about a certain Library of Souls catalog. There appears to be a building of Codex of the Mortal Realm.
Thank you.
So, after your, great sword acquisition, you might want to hop over to the library.
You were drunk last night when she was asking about it, but he'd already offered to help her with that.
Oh. Well,
He's usually drunk.
Jack.
Excuse me.
So,
Oh, yoke.
Excuse me.
Okay,
You,
it's my new favorite one.
make your way into an area that is clearly a residential district. And you see apartments upon apartments upon apartments, tiered and terraced, rising up all around you. They don't look bad, but they don't look luxurious. Johann says, this is what we refer to as the tenements. It is where new souls will first get their footing. There are other housing that exists, but requires a little bit of a higher social status or favors paid in exchange. Get you situated here, but if you are keen to find other places to live, there is Caliber Estates. Feels not particularly cramped nor uncomfortable, but a bit more roomy. Especially if you are a soul that loves religion or science, I suppose. Not flashy, not luxurious, but don't leave you wanting in every way. For example, here in the tenements, you'll have to share a bathing facility. If you wish to bathe,
What?
you do not need to.
God.
But Caliber Estates, you do not. Then there is no Utopia, which is run by a devil named Suzuka's. As you can imagine, it is quite fancy, but it requires a rather steep price. And if you are artistically inclined, there is Velo. Velo is, well, it's quite a sight to behold. Run by a fae that has a simply incredible appetite for art and music. It's quite something. If you wish to live there, you will have to audition for the being itself. Velo only allows the most talented to live in their neighborhood.
Johann, stop. You're embarrassing me. All right.
Well,
Cool.
I
Pack
wish
your
you
bags.
good
We're
luck.
going there. Oh, no.
We have to stay
Pack your
here.
bags.
We have to start here, and none of us
Are
have
you
talents.
kidding me? Shared showers? What are we? Animal? Okay. What are most of us? Animals?
We
Come on.
spend most of our time as living people running through muck and slime as a group.
And I don't want to do it as a dead soul. God, I hate this.
And it sounds like we can't get in
Tusk,
even.
you're with me, right?
Yes, this is
The tenements are free, require nothing from you. They are provided by the godless monarchy to all souls that come in. You do not have to stay there, but it is probably best that you start there.
We better get you an audition, Yoke.
Yeah, you're gonna have to
Oh
get.
my goodness.
You're gonna have to get
Good
in
luck
line.
to you.
You're gonna have to get in line for your audition anyway. So.
How dare
So-
you?
As you make your way into the tenements, first of all, you see at the base of it dozens upon dozens of what appear to be cookhouses. It would seem that food is being provided for all of the souls that live in the tenements, and as such, there is a veritable army of cooks creating meals for all. And Johann points one out. Points one of these cooks out, and you see she appears to be perhaps a halfling, maybe a gnome. It's difficult to say. She's got very brown skin, white hair, and is stooped over, looking a bit like a grandmother. She looks up, sort of stooped over from her waist, but looks up, moves at you with a extended shoulders and heads, looking at you with a broad smile on her face, that her eyes completely closed. One of these people who smiles, when they smile, their eyes go up into half moons as she comes towards you. And she says, well, Johann, you have a new group of wards, it would seem. Yes, Benny, I would like to introduce you to my newest group of the Betwixt. And he introduces you all, and introduces this woman to you. So this is Benny Whistledown, and well, she is in charge of the tenements, which mostly means she's in charge of providing food. I says, yes, indeed. And if you're hungry, who would like a pie? Who? Excuse me, Johann's bleeding in over everybody. Who would like a pie?
Actually, would it be possible to prepare our own food there?
Oh, my goodness. Are you cooks?
I am.
You're
There
a
is
cook?
no end to the number of cooks that we need, so I will happily allow you access to the kitchen. I would prefer to give you a moment to show me that you can cook, but once I determine your skills are up to the task, you are welcome.
Okay, so everybody in the party on 3. Tanile, you're a cook. 1, 2, 3.
You're a cook?
There it is. There it is.
Johann does it
I'll
as well.
explain later.
You're a cook?
Let's say.
How? What?
Pause for a moment. How did we not find that out? Just me.
I mean, he was a wolf.
So that
With
one
no
time
opposing
that you stole all the food and stuff, you weren't taking that to eat, you were trying to cook as a dog.
Yes, your culinary skills are abysmal.
You're getting
Okay,
better,
coming
Gus.
from
You're
somebody who
getting
ate his
better.
own vomit, like
I
that
tried.
feels-
Yeah, you stopped. You stopped serving the bologna after it turned green. So
I thought that it was just getting riper.
You
not
get
everything
settled.
not everything you make has to come back from the dead.
I am
Oh.
speaking.
sorry, Benny.
It's all
So
right,
sorry.
my dear. All right.
Lady
You-
Whistledown, I apologize.
You get settled in your rooms, and when you wish, come and find me, Mr. Niall, was it?
Yes.
I will put you to work.
Can I have one of those pies?
Of course, of course. Oh, you want a big pie or a small pie?
I mean, look at me.
A big pie. Yes, of course. Take your pick, my dear. There are pies of all sorts on display on one of the tables inside one of these
Gosh.
cookhouses.
When
And
takes,
Johann looks at you all, nods in satisfaction, says, well, now, It has been an eventful journey, but I have successfully shepherded you to Knoxville. I will be looking in on you daily at first, but then less and less, and there may come a time when you will not see me for quite a long stretch of time. But when the time comes for you all to pass on, I will return and see to it personally.
Thank you for the guidance.
No thanks is necessary, but it is appreciated.
Yak takes a moment and Druid crafts an owl feather for your hat.
That is, without a doubt, the nicest gift anyone has ever given me. He takes it from you reverently. I will cherish this.
You, more than anyone else, deserve a feather in your cap for all you've done.
He puts it into his hat, raises up his rib cage almost as if he's taking a deep breath, but there is no air that goes in, and takes his staff and walks off and says, "Remember, I'll be checking in, but
You'll come see
explore.
me soon. You promised.
Get some rest. I'll be here tomorrow, and we will see what we can do."
I'm signing up for that audition immediately. I cannot sleep here. I am so sorry.
You've slept in way worse places, Jack.
I know, and now I'm dead. And
You have something bad to say about the tenement?
Also,
Oh, Miss Lady Whistledown, I didn't see you there. I'm so sorry. You were behind the pie. It's so big.
Also,
You may wish to go to other places, but I get more compliments for my food than they ever will. Keep that in mind.
we don't.
And if you disparage the tenements again, I have a very large flour sack that I think would fit you quite well.
What?
do it.
I like
do
her.
it, do it, Benny.
Stop it.
I'm totally joking. Or am I?
I will turn all of you into dragons.
I love this place all of a sudden.
Jack, let's remember last night we slept, but we didn't sleep. We just laid there. Does it really matter where we put our head?
But it's a fey lodging with music and artistry and nowhere. Looking around for Whistledown to make sure she's never.
Always watching.
Underneath the pie, like.
Gotcha. Indeed. So, as you all make your way into tenements, it is indeed cramped, communal rooms for the most part. There's very few single rooms. Those are reserved only for the largest souls that literally cannot share a room with somebody else.
Oh, like physically large. Okay.
Physically large, yes. But as you settle into the tenements, this will be where we end our session. Next time we play, we'll do a little exploration of Knoxville, giving each of you some time to tell me what it is that you do, what you see, taking place over a period of several days. As you acclimate and discover what existence is like here in Knoxville. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I think it might be obvious that we had a little bit of fun tonight. I did, at any rate. Once again, great thanks is due to Storytellers Forge, who are the publisher of what we are playing, The Black Ballad. Again, thanks to Diamorte and Drake, the head of Diamorte, who provided the incredible music specifically written for The Black Ballad. All the music you heard tonight was by them. If you enjoy the art, please check out Kai. You can find links to Storytellers Forge, Diamorte, and Kai all in the chat. And if you want to win stuff, and who doesn't, please go to the Storytellers Forge Discord, mention this stream, the Severed Threads notes from the Black Ballad, If you do, you'll be entered into a drawing to receive cool stuff from Storytellers Forge. If you go to my Discord, Medium Rare, again, link in the chat, you will be able to be entered into a raffle to win. What was that I heard? The sound of, I guessed it's dice. Mention this stream. We got it. Thank you. Mention this stream, Severed Threads, notes from the Black Ballad, and you will be entered into a raffle to get dice. Great thanks, as always, to my wonderful players, and for you for watching. Join us next week to find out what happens next.
I'm
Take care, all.
so scared for win. Yay.
Bye, all.
Can any truly explain to me what it means to be divine? These caterwauling holy servants have no better understanding of divinity or where their supposed power comes from than the very gods they worship themselves. Warlocks strike their deals directly with patrons. Wizards spend decades mastering their craft. Sorcerers are lucky enough to be born with it. A fighter wears their battle scars proudly to prove their mastery. Yet clerics only need pray to fall in line, recite the dogma, and raise the symbol of their god. A god who, in turn, parcels out the power of their self-proclaimed domain. My place in this drama is merely to highlight the problem, but the solution, the choice to act, must be someone else's. Perhaps it is you who will lead the divine orchestra to crescendo, or maybe you will simply sit idly by listening to the melody of a cosmos destroying itself. Either way, you will participate, willingly or not. Welcome to the Black Ballad.